Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
It's a beautiful night for baseball home in Arizona. Opening week is presented by Amstel X Light. It's the D-backs and the Giants as this four-game series continues. And a terrific pitching matchup for you tonight as newly acquired Taijuan Walker faces lefty Matt Moore. We're set for D-backs baseball from Chase Field on Fox Sports Arizona. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly along the way. Game 3 of 4, the D-backs and the Giants. And for the D-backs tonight, BB, that means the debut of big number 99, Taijuan Walker.
You know, Bert, anytime a guy is traded from one team to another, you want to make a good first impression. And boy, did he ever make a good first impression in spring training. 27 and a third innings pitched. He punched out 32 opposing batters, only walked 2. He finished the 16 season with a flourish, 4-1 over his last 5 starts with a .293. We know his ankle is healthy. We've seen the bone chip, so Taijuan Walker fired up for this start tonight.
A little bit of a different look in the lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks tonight. This is something we were told would happen. You've got a left-hand starter out there for the Giants and Matt Moore. So David Peralta sits and Chris Owings makes his first big league start in right field.
Well, we know Chris Owings is athletic enough to do it. We saw him do it last season in center field. We saw him play a little outfield in spring training, and it also gets Nick Ahmed a chance to get in the lineup at shortstop.
Well, this is going to be fun to watch. Taijuan Walker's Diamondbacks debut against Matt Moore, the D-backs and the Giants. First pitch is coming up from Chase Field on Fox Sports Arizona. on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the gig life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM. Well, such an encouraging spring for the big power right-hander Taijuan Walker. 28 strikeouts against only 2 walks. He's set to make his Diamondbacks debut. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Very comfortable, roof and outfield panels open at Chase Field as the Diamondbacks are trying to reverse this trend against the San Francisco Giants. The D-backs have gone 10-30 against the Giants at Chase Field over the last 5 seasons. And as Taijuan Walker takes the mound, we take a look at the lineup for Bruce Bochy's San Francisco Giants.
Marquis Hernandez will lead it off out in center field tonight with Brandon Belt at first base. Hunter Pence out in his customary right field position. Buster Posey again behind the plate. Brandon Crawford with a long home run down the right field line against Randall Delgado yesterday will once again be at shortstop. Eduardo Nunez at third base. Jared Parker out in left field. Joe Panik at second base, and left-hander Matt Moore on the mound.
And on the mound for the Diamondbacks, your Ram truck starting pitcher is Taijuan Walker, his D-backs debut. You notice right away he's an enormous person. 6'4", 235. Taijuan just 24 years old. And the first major acquisition by Mike Hazen's front office group, acquired from Seattle in the Gene Segura deal last November.
And as we mentioned in the open, when you get traded to a new team, you want to make a great first impression. I think Taijuan Walker has more than accomplished that. Big-time fastball, tremendous split-finger changeup, an improved slider as his third go-to pitch. And for me, he's much better when he elevates that four-seam fastball across the top of the zone. Very tough pitch to catch up to.
As we mentioned in the open, a new look defensively. Chris Owings in right field. Our eye on defense for the D-backs, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
CO out there in right field has to feel like he's a mile away from home plate. A.J. Pollock in center field. Yasmani Tomas once again in left. It'll be Lamb and Ahmed on the left side of the infield tonight, with Drury and Goldschmidt on the right side. Chris Iannetta getting the nod behind the plate for right-hander Taijuan Walker.
There you see Jim Wolf. He's the plate umpire tonight. He'll have the balls and strikes. DJ Rayburn at first base. The crew chief Greg Gibson at second. And Tim Timmons at third. A beautiful Wednesday night in downtown Phoenix. Gorky Hernandez set to lead it off. The D-backs and the Giants. Second straight start in center field for Hernandez. Tadarian Span out with a left hip issue right now. He's day to day. And Hernandez had a pair of hits and a career high 4 RBIs last night. First pitch is ball 1. We're underway. Hernandez said you have to be ready when the boss says, come on, let's go. And he got that chance last night, came through, knocked in 4. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Thought one of the most telling stats, Bob, about last night's game. Hernandez, who is yet to hit a whole lot at the big league level, but batting leadoff last night, saw 26 pitches. And he's ahead 3-0 here.
Had 2 base hits, drove in 4 runs. He also walked, doing everything you expect a leadoff hitter to do.
All fastball so far from Taijuan Walker. That one's in there at the belt, and it's 3-1. Speaking of belt, he's on deck.
I see what you did there. There you go.
Chris Iannetta spent last year catching Taijuan Walker in Seattle with the Mariners, so these two are very familiar with each other. Chris's first start behind the plate tonight.
I'm sure that's a little bit reassuring for Taijuan Walker to have a familiar face behind that mask for your first start with a new team.
We asked Chris about Taijuan, and Chris just says, oh, he can be great. It's all right there. High fly ball along the right field line. Sure enough, the first one is hit to Chris Owings, who's got it in foul ground for the first out. BB, time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, you think back to opening days, Zach Greinke had a lot of 2-strike counts on opposing hitters, couldn't seem to put them away. Same thing for Patrick Corbin last night. So for Taijuan Walker tonight, get ahead in the count and then put them away.
Diamondbacks will put the shift on for Brandon Belt as Nick Ahmed runs out to short right field. The numbers on Belt last year. Jake Lamb, the only infield defender on the left-hand side, and there's strike 1. Brandon Belt walked twice in Sunday's opener last night. A pair of hits, including a double and an RBI. Rolls this one into the shift, and look at that. That's why you put that defender in that spot. 6-3 on the putout, 2 down.
What did Torey Lovello call it? Put defenders in an area where they flood the field.
Exactly.
Guys hit the ball that way often enough. You see it on the spray charts, a lot of lines in that direction on the spray chart. It makes a lot of sense to put your defenders where he's likely to hit the ball.
Torrey says they want to fill up the empty lanes and will be constantly shifting on the flood area, as he put it. 2 down for Hunter Pence. Pence coming off a 3-hit night last night. He's got 4 hits in the series. Boy, Diamondbacks starting pitcher, 2 games into the season, could really use a nice, quick, tidy 1-2-3 first. Zach Greinke had a long first inning on Sunday. Patrick Corbin battled last night. Pitch count got up there. This is driven deep to center field. A.J. Pollock at the track, at the wall, and it's over his head. Hunter Pence round second. He'll head for third, and he's in there with a triple.
Pence picking on a high fastball up and out over the plate. He barreled that one up to straightaway center field. AJ took one last look at the fence, thought he had a shot right there, but just out of his reach at the 407 mark.
So Pence at third, 2 down, and here is Buster Posey. Still looking for his first base hit on the new season. And he lines it right to Goldie. Walker strands Pence at third. Diamondbacks coming up against lefty Matt Bourne. Truck starting pitcher for the Giants. It's left-hander Matt Moore, the New Mexico native. Diamondbacks saw Moore with both Tampa Bay and San Francisco last year. He had career highs in starts, innings pitched, and strikeouts. Moore acquired by the Giants last August and then closed last season by winning 6 of his last 8 starts.
Yeah, that was after he learned to cut fastball from Madison Bumgarner. It really became a big part of his arsenal. He throws a 4-seamer, a cutter, he has a big knuckle curveball. He'll throw an occasional straight changeup, but look for a lot of cut fastballs in on the right-handed hitters tonight.
A.J. Pollock steps in. Fastball in there at the knees, and it's 0-1. A.J. already with 4 hits to open the season, including his home run Sunday. Joe Panic. The Gold Glover is there, 1 away. Your lineup for Torey Lovullo's Arizona Diamondbacks.
A.J. Pollock just grounded out to start the offensive night for the Diamondbacks. He'll be out in center field. Chris Owings in right field. Paul Goldschmidt down at first base. Jake Lamb at third base. Yasmani Tomas once again in left field. Brandon Drury at second base. Chris Iannetta doing the catching tonight with Nick Ahmed at shortstop. And Taijuan Walker, the right-hander, on the mound.
Chris Owings has a hit and an RBI in each of the first 2 games this year. In fact, if you go back to last season, CO has an RBI in 5 consecutive games. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. His first career start in right field tonight. He never played a single inning in the big leagues in right field before the top of the first. Did see some time in right this spring, and of course Chris started nearly 50 games in center field last year. David Peralta tonight sits against the lefty. So you've got Owings playing right field, batting second. And it's a 4-pitch walk by CO. RI on defense for the Giants. It's sponsored by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Hunter Pence out in right field. Gorkis Hernandez in center with Jarrett Parker over in left field. It'll be Eduardo Nunez and Brandon Crawford on the left side of the infield. Joe Panic and Brandon Belt on the right side. Perennial All-Star Buster Posey behind the plate for lefty Matt Moore.
Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie homered last night, his first of the year. 3 for 7 at the plate through the season's first 2 games. Goldie currently tied with Steve Finley for second on the Diamondbacks all-time hit list, 847. That's behind Gonzo, who has more than 1,300 hits in a D-backs uniform. That's foul. Here's Goldie's home run last night, his first of the year.
Fast home run, line drive into the left field bleachers. Went down and got a Johnny Cueto changeup and blasted it into the bleachers out there.
Diamondbacks beat Matt Moore last June here at Chase Field when he was still with Tampa Bay. And in that ball game, he gave up home runs to Goldie and Jake Lamb. Fastball is dotted, and that's his first strikeout.
Sometimes that's all you can do when a pitcher executes a perfect pitch. You just have to tip your cap, head back to the dugout, and possibly look for it again in your next at bat.
Jake Lamb, a home run into the Ram Trucks pool last night off Johnny Cueto for his first and still only base hit of the year. And what do you know it? He's back in there against another left-hand pitcher. He's seen a flood of lefties to start the season. Jake's homer, the 32nd all-time home run by a D-backs player into the Ram Trucks pool. This was Jake Lamb, the splashdown last night.
Really covered a lot of plate, reaches out and gets an outside pitch and hooks it back to the pool in right center field.
94 for Matt Moore that time, and it's 0-2. Another tough draw for Jake and Matt Moore tonight. He struck out 3 times on opening day against Madison Bumgarner. Just missed with that fastball at 95, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Moore throws a lot harder than you realize. He's one of those very smooth lefties. There's not a lot of herky-jerky motion in his delivery. Doesn't appear like he's exerting a lot of energy, but the ball really comes out of his hand mid-90s consistently with that fastball.
You saw the splits last year for Jake against left-hand pitchers. Knocks it the other way, but Nunez is there at third. And Matt Moore strands the one-out walk. The D-backs and the Giants, no score.
The top of the second with Taijuan Walker on the mound in his Arizona debut. Lavella said while obviously it's his commanding mound presence that first stands out when you see Walker, he's more impressed with how comfortable Walker is with his delivery. After battling through a foot injury last year, Walker spent the spring working on his mechanics and working in a new pitch with the slider. And according to this pitching staff, they believe Walker has only scratched the surface when it comes to his potential. So needless to say, the D-backs looking for big things when it comes to their big guy.
Brandon Crawford, first pitch swinging, drives it to center for A.J. Pollock, and that's the first out.
Much more efficient in the first inning tonight. You think back to opening day, Zach Greinke faced 5 batters in the first inning through 24 pitches. Patrick Corbin's faced 5 batters in the first inning through 17 pitches. Tonight, Taijuan Walker threw 13 for 4 batters, and that's including falling behind the leadoff man, Gorkys Hernandez, 3-0 before coming back to get him.
Taijuan has been considered one of the top young pitching prospects in all of baseball for a couple of years now, and it seems like at the age of 24 he's starting to finally put everything together just as he becomes a Diamondback. Here's Eduardo Nunez, who's already had a big series. Nunez 5 hits and a couple of stolen bases in the first 2 games so far. When you look at Taijuan's numbers in Seattle last season, 8-11, he pitched less than 135 innings. You may wonder, all right, well, what's the big deal? Nunez, another hit. He knocks it into center. And we talked about this during spring training. Taijuan last season fought through a nagging right foot problem, which he said happened early in the year. Those are the bone spurs and chips that they pulled out of his right ankle in October. Look at the one on the left there. It's almost 2 centimeters long. That was rubbing up against his Achilles tendon.
That's really remarkable. I've had some bone chips, and when they were removed, I thought they were, you know, the size of a softball. But when they came out, they were so small you could barely see them. I cannot imagine Taijuan Walker competing with those bone chips in his ankle.
Jared Parker, the left fielder. Going to have to keep Nunez close. 40 stolen bases last year. There he goes. And he's in there. That's number 3 on the season for Eduardo Nunez.
Nunez gives the Giants an element of speed that they have not had for a long time. The Giants have never been known as a base stealing team, but Nunez gives them that added dimension.
It's funny if you think about it. Through that whole World Series run, they didn't really have a guy like that. But Nunez, they acquired him from the Twins in the middle of last year. Finished the season with 40 stolen bases, was caught 10 times. 1-0 on Jared Parker. Now keep in mind with Taijuan Walker and those bone spurs, all those bone spurs and chips, they were in his right foot and his ankle, and that's the foot that he pushes off the rubber with.
That's the base. That's where everything starts for a right-handed pitcher, off that right foot. Just remarkable that he was able to pitch through that.
It started early in the year. He ended up trying to pitch through it for the first half of the season. That must have been terribly painful, and finally had to sit down for a while. He was out nearly all of July and most of August last year. And Taijuan said he, trying to pitch like that, he was just using all upper body, all arm, because he really couldn't push off and use his legs. And he's a big dude, a power pitcher that really must have handicapped him.
And we talked about it in spring training. A lot of times when you have an issue with your lower body, a foot or a knee or a hip, eventually it works its way into that throwing arm, because you try to protect the lower body injury and put a lot more strain on your shoulder or your elbow. And it's very fortunate Taijuan didn't have that creeping injury work its way to his upper body.
He said every time he pushed off the rubber, he'd be in pain. And, you understand he might not be able to throw as hard like that. But he said it also really affected his command. I mean, when you can't push off and plant and land and go through your mechanics, you can't throw strikes either. He's worked it full on Parker, 3-2. Popped it up, third base side. Lamb is there. 2 outs. But now he is good to go, all healthy. And this is a look at Taijuan Walker.
You can see the torque he puts on that right foot, the back foot, as he drives toward home plate. That should be a good matchup for him tonight. Jared Parker. Early in the season, and Jared Parker's swing is a little bit long. He has trouble catching up to good fastballs. If Taijuan Walker can put those fastballs in a good spot, he should be able to handle Parker tonight.
Well, Joe Panik is always a tough out. He had a 3-hit night last night. He has doubled and tripled in this series. He's got Nunez at second and 2 outs. And he hits it to second base. Drury smothers it. Nunez coming home. He never hesitated, and he's in there. Brandon Drury held the ball, thinking certainly Nunez would stop at third, but he did not. He came flying around that third base bag and snuck in there with the game's first run.
That element of speed we talked about a moment ago, stealing bases, also shows up on a play like this. 2 outs in the inning, and Nunez never broke stride around third base. Brandon Drury caught in between a little bit right there. He didn't want to throw home and give Nunez a chance to get back to the bag at third, but that slight delay was all it took for Nunez to get in underneath the tag at home plate.
You could see him. I think he ran right through Phil Nevin's stop sign. A nice stop by Brandon Drury, but a better base running play by Nunez, and it's 1-0. Here's the pitcher, Matt Moore. Saw Brandon have an error last night on a ball that was basically hit right to him. It was hit hard, but right at him. And the Diamondbacks, before the ball game today, were working on a couple of defensive issues after a rough night in the field last night. And Brandon Drury was out there working on infield defense. He has Manny Tomas out in the outfield with Dave McKay. Brandon and Chris Owings both had middle infield errors last night. Both were costly. That one knocked the mask off Chris Iannetta.
That's the one aspect of the game you'd like to think shows up every night. And this is the work you were talking about. Tony Paraschica and Brandon Drury talking about a setup as the pitch is being delivered, talking about a batter's swing. If he's inside the ball, leading with his hands, the ball's going to come off the bat this way. If he's out in front, it's going to come off the bat a different way. Every day something to learn for these young players.
And hit 2. Brandon Drury, he's right there. And that ends the inning, but the Giants score first. They lead it 1-0.
Second inning, we head to the bottom of the second. Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-a-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Yasmani Tomas will lead off the second against Matt Moore. D-backs trail the Giants 1-0. And it's been a slow start to the year for Yasmani. 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts. And he did not see a whole lot of pitches in the ball game last night. 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Looking for some patience at the plate. You know the talent's there, the power. 31 homers last year, 83 RBIs. Four at bats last night for Tomas. He saw 7 pitches. Compare that with Gorkys Hernandez, who saw 26. There's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Well, and I always say that I really don't have an issue with a guy chasing early pitches in a count if it's what you're looking for. But I think there were a few instances last night when Yasmani was going to swing at the first pitch regardless of what it was or where it was.
Well, the pitch recognition and the plate discipline certainly looked much more improved late last year after working with Dave Magadan, the hitting coach. And the second half numbers for Yasmani blossomed big time. He was very good after the All-Star break last year. Hit .294 in the second half of the season. But when he gets hot, boy, the home runs come in bunches.
They sure do. We saw that last year.
There you go. The splits for Yasmani last year. Slugging percentage in the second half jumped by more than 140 points over the first half of the year. Pulls that one foul. That's over the head of Sam No Neck Noriega. Our Golden Glover down the left field line. Got a veteran crew here tonight, BB.
Yeah.
There's a No Neck working left field, and after a one-year hiatus, we're happy to announce the return of Sid Doc Rosenblatt.
Nice.
Doc is back in a familiar spot, working right field today.
A couple of returning lettermen.
That's right. That one just missed, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Moore trying to cut that fastball on the outside corner. That's the pitch he struck out Paul Goldschmidt back in the first inning. Last year, he pretty much just buried that cutter into right-handers, but it looks like he's commanding it a little better this year.
And Yasmani's got his first base hit this year. Leadoff man aboard. First hit for the Diamondbacks against Matt Moore.
Another cutter that time, down over the inside part of the plate. Hard ground ball sneaks through that left side.
Well, as we mentioned, Yasmani Tomas last night, 4 at-bats, saw 7 pitches. That was a 7-pitch at-bat.
How about that?
So marked improvement for Tomas. A single leads off the second. Here's Brandon Drury. Chases a high fastball, and it's 0-1. Brandon already with 4 hits and 8 at-bats to start the year, all singles. And he's actually hit safely in 7 straight games dating back to last year. Boy, Matt Moore, Bob, seems like a tough at bat. As you mentioned, he's kind of sneaky fast. He can throw at 95. He's got the cutter. He's got the big loopy curveball. Changeup's pretty good too.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, if he's commanding that cutter on both sides of the plate, that's really going to make him a handful this year.
He's a good pitcher. One and two on Brandon Drury. Following his trade to the Giants from Tampa Bay last year, Moore won both his starts against the Diamondbacks, including a win here at Chase Field. That was in September, when he matched his career high with 11 strikeouts. That one moves Brandon off the plate. A fastball in. It's 2-2. Seems like Matt Moore just became better and better with the Giants last year. Those are his numbers against the Diamondbacks, both with Tampa Bay and San Francisco.
You know, I'm not even surprised a little bit that he got better with the Giants. A left-handed pitching coach, Dave Righetti, Madison Bumgarner at the top of the rotation. He really fine-tuned his game after coming over to the Giants.
Got Buster Posey catching him.
Pitching in that ballpark, half your starts.
Pretty good landing spot for Matt Moore. A high chopper to shortstop. Crawford panic for one, and they turn it. Slowly developing play right there, but they're able to get 2 outs.
Yeah, once Crawford started backpedaling, I didn't think there was any chance to turn that double play, but Panic gets it in and out of his glove in a hurry. Oh, they might have missed one there.
Now remember, Torey Lovullo looking back toward the dugout phone right now. They have 30 seconds to decide whether to challenge. And we'll see if Alan Campbell has spotted anything. Torey will challenge.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Torey still seems a little uncomfortable with the mechanics of initiating the challenge. He wants to talk to Tim Timmons, the third base umpire. And the headsets in front of the Giants dugout are coming on.
Gentlemen, the previous play is under official video replay review. The call on the field is that the runner is out.
So you've got the crew chief Greg Gibson, the second base umpire, on the headphones.
The review was
with DJ Rayburn, the first base umpire. They talk to New York while Torey Lovullo talks with Tim Timmons.
Yeah, part of the issue last night, we know this year you have 30 seconds to determine whether you're going to challenge a play or not. So obviously you've got to make a quick decision. But the wild card was Mike Butcher had made a trip to the mound, so there was really nothing going on. It wasn't like the added time for Alan Campbell and Torey Lovullo to make up their mind whether they wanted to challenge was slowing down the game at all. That's maybe something that might need to be tweaked moving forward if a team can find a way to stall for time and get more than their 30 seconds before determining if they want to challenge a play.
And Torey wins the challenge. Drury is safe at first.
The call has been overturned. Arizona Diamondbacks retain their challenge.
And then after the challenge came and went, Greg Gibson told Torrey he could not challenge the play. They wanted to appeal the play, which means you put the ball into play, the pitcher gets on the rubber, steps off the rubber, throw the ball to home plate, and inform the umpire you want to appeal whether he touched the plate or not. But Randall Delgado and Jeff Mathis kind of got their signals crossed up a little bit and ended up delivering a pitch to home plate. So by then it had gone by the boards.
Chris Iannetta making his first start for the Diamondbacks, acquired from Seattle in the offseason. And Chris, he's got a birthday coming up in 3 days. In fact, he'll be 34. But boy, he had a good spring. Really hit the baseball hard. Hit nearly 350 this spring with 7 extra base hits. There's a fly ball to right field. Hunter Pence coming in. 2 outs.
Shortstop, number 13.
Nick Ahmed giving the start at shortstop tonight. Nick had that critical hit opening day in the win over the Giants, that pinch hit RBI single that drove in the first run of the ball game for Arizona and set up A.J. Pollock's game-tying homer. Brandon Drury, the runner at first, and 2 outs. This is the new sort of alignment that the Diamondbacks are going to try and go with against left-handed starting pitchers, with Peralta on the bench, Owings in right field, and Nick Ahmed the shortstop. Nick handles himself pretty well against lefties, because they do not consider Nick Ahmed to be a backup player. Torey Lovullo made that very clear. Torrey says, look, a backup is somebody who's there just in case. And so he was adamant that Nick Ahmed is going to get a number of starts, as is Chris Owings at shortstop. But they do not consider Nick a backup infielder.
Well, I would imagine that Torey Lovullo and Dave Magadan and Mike Butcher are going to use the early part of the season to continue to evaluate guys and find out who's good in particular situations, especially the pitchers coming in out of that bullpen, but also the offensive players. If a guy starts swinging the bat and driving the ball around the ballpark and getting teammates on home plate, then he's got a chance to get more playing time.
Comes in with a fastball but missed, and it's 2-1.
We talk all the time about players making adjustments, from sometimes from a bat to at bat, sometimes from pitch to pitch within an at bat. Well, a manager and a coaching staff have to make adjustments on the fly too, based on what they see and past matchups against a certain pitcher or against a certain team.
Yeah, how long does it take for the skipper to get a feel for his ball club? I guess year to year, and it's doubly hard for Torrey in his first season here.
Yeah, and you know, not being around the National League West as much, obviously, as he did in the American League East, but he'll learn the opposition, he'll learn the opposing pitchers and their strengths and weaknesses and see how that matches up against his roster. And, you know, moving forward, he'll learn more and more about the opposition. He'll learn more and more about his own players.
Taijuan Walker on deck. This will get Brandon Drury started from first. Belt playing behind the runner. 2 outs, the 3-2 to Nick Ahmed. There goes Drury, and Nick fouls it off. How long did it generally take you every year to sort of get a feel for, all right, what's this year's club look like? What's the mix feel like?
Well, the first couple of years, it was all those old goats, and I played with some of them as a teammate. I'd watched them as a coach and as a broadcaster, so I was pretty sure I knew what I was getting in 01 with those guys. There weren't a lot of surprises. They had long track records, a history of success.
Matt Moore reaches out and snags it. And that ends the inning. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 1-0.
He can bring the noise.
He's a massive human being.
He looks like he should be wearing shoulder pads and a football helmet, not throwing baseballs on the mound.
Guy should be in the NBA.
Wow, what a big dude.
That's a big dude.
He seems as wide as a doorway. I don't know if he has to get sideways to walk through or not.
Big Taijuan Walker, 6'4", 235. That number 99 sure helps as well.
Oh, man, makes him look as big as Dallas out there. When I was going to Ohio University, we played against Kent State when Jack Lambert was a middle linebacker, and he wore number 99. And, I mean, you talk about filling up a field, much like Taijuan Walker fills up a mound.
Well, he's out there to start the third against the leadoff man, Gorkys Hernandez. Giants have a 1-0 lead. Taijuan Walker in his D-backs debut.
He's a big dude.
Well, Mike Hazen in the new front office saw in Taijuan Walker, you know, a prototypical pitcher that you want to have in your rotation. A guy just 24 years old, but already with parts of 4 big league seasons on his resume. And he's still growing into his abilities as a starting pitcher. And with Taijuan, the Diamondbacks, you know, they gave up the National League hits leader Gene Segura to get him here. But you get contractual control for the next 4 seasons. And significant rotation depth with a young pitcher who's a former first-round pick. 24 years old. He'll be 25 in August. He's ahead of Hernandez, 0-2. Called strike 3. Fastball's in there. First strikeout for Taijuan.
It's kind of refreshing to see a guy that pitches as much as he does with his fastball. We were talking about it the other day. Fastball counts. There really are no automatic fastball counts anymore. Guys are liable to throw any pitch in any count to any hitter, but Taijuan Walker likes that fastball, and he's not afraid to use it.
Brandon Belt, the shift is on. Belt drives it to center. Here comes AJ. He can't get her. It gets behind him and rolls all the way to the wall. Owings over there to pick it up, and Belt is in at third. AJ that time gambled and lost.
I think that ball might have been knuckling on him. The way he approached it, it might have changed directions a couple of times and then really took a dive bomb down to the grass right in front of AJ and behind him all the way to the wall.
Second triple in the game for the Giants.
I mean, we've all seen video of a knuckleball pitcher throwing it up there at 65 or 70 miles an hour and how much the ball moves. Well, imagine hitting a knuckleball at 90 or 100 miles an hour, and it's going to knuckle like crazy when it gets out to that outfield.
Hunter Pence tripled his first time up. Base hit, 2-0 Giants. Boy, Hunter Pence, a 3-hit night last night. He's 2 for 2 tonight. He's got 6 hits in the series.
Catcher Buster Posey.
It looked like a cut fastball or maybe a slider that didn't take much break, but with the infield drawn in, got through into left field for an RBI base hit.
Buster Posey lined out to Goldie at first his first time up. Buster an 0 for 8 start to the season. He has walked 3 times. Boy, got in on the hands with a fastball that time, and it's 0-2. Bob, as you said, Taijuan often seems to have more success when he expands the strike zone north-south as opposed to east-west.
That gets more swings and misses on fastballs at the top of the zone or just slightly above the top of the zone. Tough to catch up to that pitch.
Center field, AJ. It drops into right center. And Hunter Pence is in at third. First hit this year for Posey. That's 3 consecutive hits against Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, need a rhythm breaker here. Chris Iannetta making his way out to the mound. Jake Lamb also coming over from third. Nick Ahmed coming in from shortstop. He's got to hit the reset button right here, making some mistakes over the heart of the plate, and the Giants are making him pay.
Now he'll deal with Brandon Crawford.
At the plate, shortstop Brandon Crawford.
Crawford flying to center his first time up. Had a double and a home run last night. First Giant other than Madison Bumgarner to hit a home run this year. Taiwan got a strikeout of Gorkys Hernandez on 4 pitches to start the inning, and then 3 hits on the next 5 pitches. This was Crawford last night. This was not a cheapie.
Yeah, and talking to Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow from Giants television, they said that Brandon Crawford normally doesn't handle that high fastball up out over the plate like that. He's a much better low ball hitter. He's quick inside, but they were a little bit shocked to see him go up the ladder to hit that fastball as hard as he did.
Taiwan getting ahead in the count. It's 0-2. 40 pitches for Taiwan Walker, 29 for strikes. Left field for Tomas. Hunter Pence at third. Here he comes. The throw into second, and it's 3-0 Giants. The RBI for Crawford. The Cox high-speed highlights. It's been a big series for Eduardo Nunez. His first at bat tonight. A single, a stolen base. Then he scored from second on a ground ball to second as Brandon Drury held it too long.
When you're that far away from the possible play, and Brandon Drury was out in shallow center field after making that diving stop, you're probably better served just unloading the ball to home plate as quickly as you can. If Nunez hits the brakes and goes back to third, that's fine. You still have a chance to get out of the inning without that run scoring. But by holding the ball in center field, a good 180, 190 feet away from home plate, that's going to make you have to make a perfect throw to get him at the dish.
Really a daring base running play by Nunez, who never hesitated for a moment, coming around third. Taiwan ahead 1-2. He struck out Hernandez to start the inning. Belt tripled. Penn singled him home. Posey a single. Crawford drove in a run. Now 1-2 on Nunez. High chopper. Jake Lamb charges. Throws him out. Giants get 2. They lead it 3-0. The third, a big day coming up here Sunday morning, the 5th annual D-backs race against cancer, and Debbie Castaldo is here with all kinds of swag to talk about Sunday's big race. What's all this stuff?
I brought all this stuff. So the race is still taking registration. You can still register at dbacks.com. But of course, in the D-backs way, we love to do it right. So we have tons of cool swag and keepsakes to make sure everybody has a great time, raises money for cancer, but loves it too. So this is actually the Walk t-shirt. Super duper soft. We're really proud of our t-shirt.
Crawford charges that when they retire Walker to open up the third. The 5th annual D-backs race against cancer. That is a really nice shirt.
Yeah, and then for the people that have been coming every single year, we actually do a unique medal every year. So if you're collecting year over year, you actually come back and that's your medal for this year. It's unique and a little bit different design for this year. So pretty slick.
BB is modeling the medallion.
Yep.
So you get the finisher medal, the t-shirt, Safelite Auto Glass, the drawstring bag, a ticket to a Diamondbacks home game, including the game on Sunday if you want.
That's right, and it's a flexible ticket, so it lets you come to just about any game you like.
Here's A.J. Pollock.
Not to mention a chance to possibly outrun Torey Lovullo.
Yeah, Torey's running. He's awesome.
Now this is a 5K, right?
It is a 5K, but
3.1 miles?
You can walk it if you choose to walk it, and then we also have the Family Fun Walk, which is a mile. So it's a really easy one. We had a bunch of people that walked it, and then we have a record setter. We have the same gentleman that's won it 3 or 4 years in record pace. So he's got a little challenge throwdown for us.
This is Sunday morning, 7:15, right here at Chase Field. The 5th annual D-backs race against cancer. Torey Lovullo is running. There's also now a 1-mile Banana Boat Family Fun Walk that you mentioned, right?
There is, and that one's packed. You see entire families come out, and what makes this one so meaningful and special is everybody's out there because someone they know has been touched by cancer. So our team D-backs is record size this year, and we've got our own custom t-shirts that we did in honor of Amy and Derek. You know, we have 2 survivors in our family now, and so our D-backs team is huge. We've got our own slick gray t-shirts with Amy's Mama Strong on one side and Derek Hall Pro State on the other, and so we're going to be out in force. Hopefully we can run. We'll see.
AJ smacks that into left center field. Hernandez over to cut it off. Pollock heads for second. This is going to be close. And he's in there. A hustle double for A.J. Pollock. Like to see some speed like that Sunday morning.
For sure. We got a little bit of that.
And the races start and finish here at Chase Field, right? They take a lap around the field at the end?
Yes, we actually do a victory lap. So you actually get to come in. DBTV is on, so you can take selfies, see your time up on the scoreboard. We give them the full treatment.
You know, we're wearing our Amy Mama Strong bracelets. And when you see how the whole organization has been impacted by cancer and what the Diamondbacks have done, Debbie, in the fight against cancer. I got to see Amy on opening day. She looks great.
She does look awesome.
She really looks good. It was really special to get to see her here wearing a D-back shirt, and you really feel like, okay, there's where all this work, all this effort really pays off.
She is, and boy, she's been so positive through all of it, and she and Derek have both proven that so much of the approach to cancer and handling the treatment is that positive, go get them, we're going to beat this type of attitude, and they are truly something special, both of them.
It was really inspiring to see her on opening day, which turned out to be, of course, a great day on Sunday, but boy, that was in my own little private special moment for me that day. It was terrific to see her. Here's Chris Owings now. Chris walked his first time up, talking with Debbie Castaldo from the Diamondbacks. The 5th annual D-backs race against cancer coming up Sunday, 7:15 in the morning here at Chase Field, a 5K. And don't forget the 1-mile Banana Boat Family Fun Walk. Now you can get the kids, and everybody can do that, right?
Yeah, you can. And what's so cool about our race is we have a lot of sponsor support. Of course, you know, we have the best sponsors and partners. And so all of our stuff, all of our gifts and swag are paid for. So when you sign up for the race, you know that every dollar that you give goes right back to cancer charities in the Valley. And we take care of folks right here at home. So we have everything from screenings to support to new equipment that we bought at Dignity Health for the prostate cancer center there. So unbelievable things that we're doing and keeping the money right here.
All proceeds benefit the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation, including Derek Hall's Prostate Foundation. Here's Derek, Diamondbacks president and CEO, a cancer survivor himself.
Last year, Derek did an unbelievable program. We actually distributed information on screenings.
A.J. Pollock takes off for third. Owings knocks it into center, and the Diamondbacks are on the board. It's 3-1. You're good luck, see? Yeah. A pair of one-out base hits have the D-backs on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Debbie, we've had guests in the past that were not nearly as productive as you've been already.
Okay, you may not remember this, but during the broadcast auction, we had a similar inning. So maybe you'll have me back more often.
Yeah, you're going to be here every game. Here's Goldie, who struck out looking. Now, I don't want to forget this. This is very important. dbacks.com/race. This is how you sign up.
Very easy to sign up right there at dbacks.com/race.
So sign up. We'll hear you or see you here Sunday morning at 7:15 for the 5K, 3.1 miles.
Beautiful weather is expected. We've been checking the weather forecast every day.
Hasn't the weather been great lately?
We got lucky at our evening on the Diamond Gala. We got lucky for our field dedication yesterday.
Yesterday was beautiful over in Goodyear for the Goldie Field, yeah.
Yep. We're leaving Mr. Kendrick in charge of weather.
Our 39th Diamondbacks field, built all over the state of Arizona. Paul Goldschmidt Field over at Falcon Park in Goodyear. And then later that night, Goldie steps up, hits a home run.
I know, we saw that. You just, maybe that's a little meant to be magic.
A little karma.
A little meant to be magic.
Do good things and the baseball gods will reward you.
He had so many incredible things to say to the kids yesterday. The thing I love most is when he talked about the life lessons that are taught on the field, that baseball's a game of failure, and it's just so hard to learn to adjust. And what a special message from him to those kids out there. And it's so humble all the time.
It's a humbling game as Matt Moore strikes him out for the second time. So the 5th annual D-backs race against cancer coming up this Sunday, 7:15, right here at the ballpark. The 5K begins and ends at Chase Field, and all proceeds benefit the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation. You sign up at dbacks.com/race. You'll get this unique D-backs finisher medal that Bob was modeling earlier. The t-shirt sponsored by Safelite Auto Glass that Debbie's wearing, a drawstring bag, a ticket to a Diamondbacks home game, which if you want can be the game Sunday here against Cleveland. And all the proceeds benefit the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation. Here's Jake Land.
We love our partners at Dignity Health who've been supporting us. They helped us get this cancer started. Patty White, their president and CEO, runs every year, as well as all the folks from their cancer center. And we've got huge organizations coming out. We did a big corporate challenge this year. And
center field, Hernandez. Oh, he can't make the catch. Here comes Owings. He's going to stop at third. And Jake Lamb is in at second. Yorkis Hernandez almost made a tremendous catch, but now the Diamondbacks have the tying runs in scoring position with 2 outs.
Slicing, sinking line drive just to the left to straightaway center. Hernandez gives it a good effort, got a glove on it, but just couldn't hold it as he rolled on the grass out there. Tony Perez-Chica was wildly waving Chris Owings to third base, but when the relay throw back to the infield was on line, he had to throw up the stop sign.
Well, now a single by Tomas can tie the ball game. He's got Owings at third and Lamb at second with 2 down. As we talk to Debbie Castaldo with the Diamondbacks here, getting ready for our race against cancer Sunday.
so, you know, we have, for all the good news stories with Derek and Amy and how they're doing, we had a couple of tough losses this year. You guys probably remember little Hollis, Hope for Hollis, Hollis Doherty, and little Princess Gianna, who both passed away this year from DIPG. Brain cancer, and their families will both be out at the D-backs race on Sunday. So we're going to pay tribute to those little heroes and raise money for the things that they care about and see if we can't fight as well. So the reality of cancer, it's a tough one, and that's why we do this, is to celebrate those that are fighting and surviving and to pay tribute to those that aren't so lucky. And so we're grateful that Hollis and their family are coming, and Gianna's family, and all those families that are out there dressed alike in pink tutus and matching outfits, and just to say, you know, we're going to beat this together, and that's what it's all about.
We had Hollis and his brother and his mom and dad up here in our booth last year.
Yep. Special family.
And Taiwan Walker's mom has gone through her own battle with cancer.
Yeah, and Archie Bradley too, I believe.
0-1 on Tomas. So last chance, folks, our last chance to remind you here, dbacks.com/race. This Sunday, 7:15 in the morning, right here at Chase Field, the 5th annual D-backs race against cancer. Torey Lovello will be competing in the 5K.
And if you're not here in the Phoenix area and you want to register, just leave us a note that you want us to send you your T-shirt and everything out of state. You can still participate, and we'll send you a number and your T-shirt and all your swag out of town. We don't mind.
That's a great idea.
We love our out-of-town fans. We know Fox has a huge viewing area, and we love our out-of-town fans, so we're more than happy to help you participate, and we'll send your keepsakes out to you.
Well, you guys make this so easy. And if you're not running, you can visit the wellness zone that they'll have set up there. And there's so much going on there. There's screenings, interactive displays, the opportunity to ask questions, have some leading experts down there to talk to. Treatment and support of those dealing with this horrible disease.
Yeah, we've got skin cancer is a big deal here in Arizona, so we've got folks out there that have got skin cancer experts, and got to have good snacks and food out there, so we've got some healthy options, and we really take good care of our runners. This race has grown every single year. It gets a little bit bigger, and we meet incredible people every year, and the photos afterwards, it's pretty inspiring and a little overwhelming for us. You meet people and learn new stories, and it makes us all feel like we're doing something. That's the best thing. You've got to do something.
No, the Diamondbacks excel at that, that's for sure. Brandon Drury would be next. A ball and 2 strikes on Yasmani Tomas. He's got Chris Owings at third. And Jake Lamb at second with 2 outs. Yes, he went, says DJ Rayburn. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 1. Debbie, thank you so much. We'll see you Sunday morning.
See you Sunday.
The Giants 3-1 as we start the 4th inning. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Just download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and the Arizona Diamondbacks with you wherever you go. Diamondbacks go into a shift as Jared Parker leads off the 4th against Taijuan Walker. D-backs have been out hit 6-4. They trail it 3-1. Parker popped up his first time up. Our thanks to Debbie Castaldo and her staff for reminding everyone about our 5th annual race against cancer coming up this Sunday morning at Chase Field, a 5K that begins and ends at the ballpark. Parker, a guy who strikes out a lot, quickly down 0-2. Saineta hangs on to the foul tip. Second strikeout for Taijuan Walker.
I mentioned it after his first at bat. Going to be a rough go for Jared Parker against that big Taijuan Walker fastball tonight. That swing very, very long right now. And when you see a guy that has a long, loopy swing like that, you just try to overpower him up in the zone, which is right down Taijuan Walker Street.
Joe Panik has doubled and tripled already in this series, coming off a 3-hit night last night. And an RBI single his first time up tonight. And through 3 1/3, Taijuan now at 50 pitches, 37 for strikes.
Well, you look at this Giants lineup, and yeah, of course your eyes are drawn to Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt, those guys in the middle of the lineup. But this guy right here has done as much damage as any Giant hitter here at Chase Field. 17 games, a .403 average.
And a rare strikeout for Joe Panik as he chases a high fastball. Bob, you talked about that. Taijuan Walker, very effective up in the strike zone with that fastball.
It's so inviting, and what else is inviting is the fact that the day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price, using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
The pitcher, Matt Moore. That was a good example of how Taijuan Walker can overpower even a guy like Panik, who almost never strikes out. Taijuan's got a slider that he's been working on and a curveball to go along with that split change. And the slider's been making significant progress this spring. He's pretty happy with it. A pitch that he's never really thrown before.
Yeah, last couple outings in spring training, he threw some really good sliders.
And Taijuan Walker strikes out the side. 1-2-3. Diamondbacks trail it 3-1. Four. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 3-1. Time now for our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. As Brandon Drury leads off the fourth, the highest batting average against the Giants since the 2015 season. How about this? Brandon Drury hitting almost .370 against these guys.
Wow.
Brandon reached on the fielder's choice his first time up. A.J. Pollock just over .360 against the Giants. A.J. doubled and scored back in the third. Scored the only Diamondback run so far. Drury leads off the fourth against left-hander Matt Moore. Short right field for Pence. One down. Well, once Matt Moore became a Giant, he just kept getting better and better last year. We told you earlier he was 6-2 in his final 8 starts last year. He came within 1 out of a no-hitter at Dodger Stadium. That was late in the season. Struck out 11 Rockies in 7 2/3 innings in late September. And then in the final game of the regular season last year, 8 innings of 3-hit ball against LA. That secured a wild card spot for the Giants. Here's Chris Iannetta. Broken bat.
Now Chris uses one of those, they call them cupped bats. There's a little area at the top of the bat that's kind of hollowed out to redistribute the balance of the bat, and when you get out in front of a pitch like that and hit it right off that cupped area at the end of the bat, it just splits lengthwise, and there you see it. You see that area at the top right there, kind of hollowed out, and when you get out in front of the pitch so far that the back of the cupped area hits the baseball, that's usually what happens.
Matt Moore mixing things up.
I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. The first time I ordered a cupped bat.
You were big time.
Oh, then, huh? Look at this technology.
Just trying to shave a few ounces.
Well, it does help distribute the weight more toward the barrel of the bat, the hitting area of the bat. But I just thought it looked cool.
Style counts too. Another fly ball to right field for Hunter Pence. 3 in a row set down by Matt Moore. Boy, if you watched the playoffs last year, you saw Matt Moore, who was just outstanding in Game 4 of the division series against the Cubs. He gave up only 2 runs on 2 hits in 8 innings in that ball game. He left with a 5-2 lead. Had 10 strikeouts when he left, but then, as was often the case, the Giants bullpen fell apart. The Cubs won the game in the series. So Moore's effort was wasted. Here's Nick Ahmed. Yeah, but down the stretch in September and into their brief postseason run, Matt Moore might have been their best pitcher, other than, of course, Madison Bumgarner. Mad Bum was pretty good in the wild card game. Not bad.
Well, Cub fans would argue for Jake Arrieta, but for me, Madison Bumgarner is the closest thing to Babe Ruth we have in the game right now.
He proved that on Sunday.
The guy that can dominate on the mound, he can dominate at the plate. You just feel like there's nothing he can't do in a baseball uniform.
Mad Bum started the NL wildcard game last season at Citi Field against the Mets and threw a 4-hit shutout. 4-hit shutout on the road in a 1-game winner-take-all deal.
In a hostile environment, as hostile as they get.
New York, what are you saying?
What are you talking about?
Hey.
I got you, Mad Bum.
Thank you, Vinny from Queens. First base side, Brandon Belt gives way to Joe Panik, and Matt Moore works a 1-2-3 inning. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 3-1. As we begin the 5th inning, fans only T-Mobile lets you stream, post, and share all things MLB. With T-Mobile, One, unlimited data means unlimited baseball. Taijuan Walker and Matt Moore on a gorgeous night in downtown Phoenix. Very comfortable here at the ballpark. Roof and the panels open. Walker struck out the side in the 4th. He got Parker, Panic, and Moore. 7, 8, 9 all in a row. Taijuan has given up 3 runs on 6 hits. He's not walked a batter. He's got 4 strikeouts in his Diamondbacks debut. And a leadoff man, Gorkys Hernandez, leads off the 5th. Taijuan so far 56 pitches, 42 for strikes. So he's been in or around the strike zone almost all night long. Hernandez 0 for 2. He has flied out struck out. Coming off a career high 4 RBIs in the ball game last night. That breaking ball got away from Walker, and it's 1-0.
4 strikeouts in the game for Taijuan Walker, all coming on fastballs. Last season, he got 60% of his strikeouts on fastballs.
He throws hard, consistent mid-90s. Just like that, but he missed, and it's 2-0.
And the league average for starting pitchers was 41% of the strikeouts coming on fastball, so he was way above league average.
He's a guy who should pitch well in Arizona. He'll work up, as we've talked about, with that mid-90s fastball. He'll break off a curveball. He's got a slider that's coming along nicely. Curveball's got some depth to it. This is rolled to second. Drury, a backhand stop, throws across his body and got him. Nice play there, Brandon Drury. 6 in a row retired by Taijuan Walker.
There were 3 or 4 ground balls just out of Brandon Drury's reach last night, but he's ranged far to his right a couple of times tonight to take away base hits. Good throw on the move, right on the money.
Now remember, Brandon Drury's played second base plenty of times in the minor leagues, but he is a third baseman. So there is this acclimation process for him after he was moved all over the field last year as a rookie.
Yeah, and all that time spent working out with Troy Tulowitzki, and we know Tulo rarely sets his feet to throw. He's always on the move. He's running one direction or the other and throws across his body to first base.
Oh, Brandon Belt sends it out of here. The first of the year for Belts, and the Giants have a 4-1 lead. Belt had a pair of hits last night. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
Looked like a split finger from Taijuan Walker that time. Pretty good movement, but just hung right there on the inside corner for Brandon Belt, who is lightning quick inside, especially on an off-speed delivery.
And that's one thing that can be a problem for Taijuan Walker. The long ball. Last year he gave up 27 home runs in 134 innings. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence has tripled and singled tonight. He's 2 for 2. Last year, only 4 pitchers in baseball had a higher ratio of fly balls go out for home runs than Taijuan Walker. Gave up 27 last year, behind on Pence now 2-0. That will happen when you work up, as Taijuan Walker often does.
And you throw a lot of fastballs. I mean, occasionally big league hitters are going to guess right. They're going to get on top of that fastball and get it in the air to the outfield. And when you throw as hard as he does, solid contact is usually going to be a bad result on those high fastballs.
He'd retired 6 in a row. The home run to Belt, now behind on Pence 3-1. Drop that breaking ball in there, and it's a full count, 3-2. Buster Posey on deck. Broken bat roller jammed him. Ahmed is there. Two outs. Here's Buster Posey, who singled his last time up. Rich Hill pitching for the Dodgers tonight. They are hosting the Padres. LA leads that game 2-0 in the third. The Rockies, who won their first 2 games this year at Milwaukee, tonight trail at Miller Park 6-0. They're in the 9th. I'm officially ready to quit, beat the streak.
That didn't take long.
Well, I got on your Trey Turner bandwagon.
Yeah.
And he pulled the over tonight for the Nationals. That happens. Even the Trey Turner Nationals, though, beat the Marlins 6-4.
It didn't happen often last year, that's for sure.
I think the cooler rubbed off on me.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Yeah. But we encourage you to download the Beat the Streak app on your phone and see if you can put together a 57-game hitting streak. You might win $5 million. Bob and I play every day, and I'll tell you right now, 2 days in, I'm hooked. I'm sweating out every Trey Turner at bat, pacing here in the booth. I'm still trying to start a streak of 1.
Well, the good news is I played the daily double again, took Trey Turner and Will Myers from San Diego against the Dodgers tonight. But since Trey Turner went over, I don't care what Will Myers does.
You're already out.
If you play 2 players in one day, they both have to get a hit in order to advance.
And you can play 1 or 2, and that's it. And you just try and put together as long a streak as you can. See, I made the mistake of trying to double up right away. I went 0 for 2. Well, I went 1 for 2 yesterday, and let's see, I had Trey Turner and Goldie tonight. So Goldie's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, and Trey Turner had the 0 for, so not too good. Full count to Posey. Just foul. Here's Sam Noriega pouncing
nice
on that
play.
one.
Well, he had some options there. He could have backed off and played the carom off the sidewall, but he chose to charge it, field it on the short hop, trap it against that sidewall. Nicely done.
Get a look at Nonek in action here.
Boy, that's a nice play.
Sam Noriega, our Golden Glover down the left field line. Doc Rosenblatt back and working right field tonight. Posey hits it Doc's way, but it's out of play. There you go. Watch Doc react to Nonek's play. Thumbs up. They really are a tight-knit group, the Golden Glovers.
I used to run into them a lot of times last year on our way out of the ballpark. They'd be walking through the administrative parking lot out there, and boy, those guys were fired up if they had some plays.
Just like the locker room after the game, you go over the ball game, talk about your different plays. There's Sam.
Yeah, that was a great play you made in that 3rd inning, but what happened in the 7th? They couldn't play the ball off the wall.
Good to have Doc back with us this year. Doc's at all the spring games, all the fall league games. Big baseball fan. Still 3-2 to Posey. Lost him. First walk issued by Taiwan tonight. The scouts behind the plate.
Brandon Crawford.
Oh, that's just a fan. I'm not sure what's going on there. I think he's taking the SATs.
Oh, you'd have to use a number 2 pencil.
That's true. That was a 9-pitch at bat by Buster Posey to work that 2-out walk, and now here's the shortstop, Brandon Crawford.
Boy, whoever that is not liking the Bob Melvins very much. A lot of D's there after the Oakland A's.
They're doing their homework back there. Or it's a teacher grading papers, maybe. Crawford has flied out twice, once for an RBI sac fly. Boy, Crawford's become such a good hitter last year. Led the Giants with 84 RBIs. First shortstop in Giants history to lead the team in runs batted in. This used to be a bottom of the order guy that you'd platoon against lefties. Those days are long gone.
Stick him in the 8th spot and hope he made enough defensive plays to make up for his lack of offense. Those days are long gone.
Won his 2nd straight National League Gold Glove at shortstop last year. And he's been either 1st or 2nd on the Giants in RBIs each of the last 2 seasons. Two balls and 1 strike. Working down in the zone that time, Taijuan Walker. Walker's spot due to lead off the bottom of the 5th for the Diamondbacks. Fastball in, missed, and the count is full 3-2. No one throwing the D-backs bullpen. Back-to-back 3-2 counts for Taijuan. After a 9-pitch at bat to Posey, Nunez would be next. Goldie will play behind the runner at first. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. There goes Posey, and Crawford stays alive. Big night for Brandon Belt. He tripled and scored in the 3rd. Homered here in the 5th. Posey off with a pitch again, and Crawford strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker, but Belt homers. Diamondbacks trailing 4-1. The Giants 4-1. Hey, fans, catch the D-backs and the Indians coming up at Chase Field this weekend. Saturday's the big day for the Jake Lamb bobblehead, the first bobblehead giveaway of the year. The Jake Lamb bobblehead this Saturday, the D-backs and the Indians. That's courtesy of Arizona Sports, 98.7 FM. The lovely Mike is here with us. How you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Now you are modeling, if you will, the Jake Lamb bobblehead,
modeling,
which has been the talk of all Diamondback world this spring. Because
absolutely.
It was an interesting choice to recreate that moment when Jake had an actual lamb in the clubhouse at the All-Star break last year.
Yeah, I mean he was in the final vote for the All-Star, lost out to that bum Brandon Belt, but this guy right here broke out all the stops to try and get him in the All-Star game, and hopefully, I mean, hit a home run last night. Hopefully he's putting together an All-Star season. Doesn't need to be in the final vote this year, but this is an outstanding bobblehead.
And I
love it.
The catch with the Jake Lamb bobblehead, as Vanessa loves to point out, is that the lamb actually feels like a lamb. It's got some kind of sheepskin on there.
I wasn't going to focus on the texture of the lamb. I was trying to focus on the ball player who should be an all-star this year. But
well,
yes, there is a fuzzy lamb right here.
When Vanessa does that, frankly, it's a little unsettling.
It is. I said the other day to you guys. I love the fact that AJ Pollock gives him some garbage for the fact that his first bobblehead, he's kneeling next to a barnyard animal instead of like a diving catch or a home run.
He looks like a little shepherd boy there.
He does. The hair looks great though. The hair is on point.
That's solid.
I'll give him
hair,
credit for that. The hair looks great.
Good moss on the bobblehead.
It's good lettuce. I like it.
So that's coming up on Saturday. Diamondbacks and the Indians, the Jake Lamb bobblehead, courtesy of Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. Get your tickets at dbacks.com, and our thanks to the lovely Mike. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I know that you call me lovely because that's what the piece of paper says.
No, it doesn't. It's not written down here. You're a very attractive man.
I like the fact that you also call it a bobblehead.
I see. That
because
is
that's what the piece of paper tells you to say.
Yeah, now that is written down
like
here. And sadly, I think I did that a couple of times this week.
Absolutely. I love
I'm already regretting.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Taijuan Walker grounds it to Crawford at shortstop, and that's the first out. 5 in a row set down by Matt Moore. Our thanks to the lovely Mike.
Mike's flying solo tonight. He's a busy man. We're lucky to get him up here for a few minutes.
Well, you don't want to say the lovely Vanessa and Mike.
And Mike.
So we, like to make Mike feel good. AJ Pollock doubled and scored his last time up. We're an all-inclusive booth up here. That's going to get out of play. The lamb on the right appears to be awake. Should that be moving independently like that?
I don't know. That's kind of creepy.
It is. Broken bat in the hole for Nunez. 2 outs.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Here's Chris Owings, who has walked. He's got an RBI single. So CO has now recorded a run batted in 6 straight games dating back to last year. That extends a career high streak for Chris. He's had a very good start to the year, Chris Owings. Tonight playing right field against the lefty Matt Moore. There's a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, Diamondbacks hitters so far have not had much success the first time through the batting order against the opposing starting pitcher. Now, granted, we faced a couple of tough starting pitchers, Johnny Cueto and Mad Bum, the first 2 games.
Base hit. Chris Owings rolls it by Nunez at third. CO hustles into second, and he's got a double. First double this year for Chris Owings.
Right down that third baseline past Eduardo Nunez. That was a cutter working its way inside, and Chris just got to it quickly enough to keep it fair down that third baseline, and then more aggressive base running with 2 outs in the inning. He wants to get himself into scoring position. And look at that slide, a perfect slide. Hit that front foot on the base, that stops your momentum, pop up out of your slide and be ready to advance if the throw gets away from the infielder.
2 outs for Goldie. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts against Matt Moore. He homered off Moore in this ballpark last year. It's 1-0. Diamondbacks now with 5 hits. 3 of them are doubles. Pollock, Owings, and Lamb have all doubled against Matt Moore.
Just to quickly finish that thought, first time through against opposing starting pitchers, they were 3 for 29 with only 1 walk, and that was Chris Owings tonight. Second time through the order, they're 9 for 24. The third time through against the opposing starter, they're 5 for 12. Then you open up the door to that bullpen.
And we're starting the third time through the order with the Pollock ground out, the Owings double. 2-1 on Goldie.
Boy, Johnny Cueto was really obvious last night. He was pitching a lot of off his fastball early in the game. First time through the order. Second time through the order, he turned into a junk baller. He was throwing slow breaking balls and change-ups and using his fastball to set up his off-speed pitches, and I think he did the Diamondbacks a little bit of a favor.
Diamondbacks had a couple of home runs off Johnny Cueto last night. Goldie in the 4th and Lamb in the 5th. Cueto last night 5 innings, 4 earned runs on 6 hits, including the 2 home runs. The 2-1 to Goldie. Late time granted by Jim Wolf behind the plate. Buster Posey wants a word. Buster did not feel good about that pitch they were about to throw. Goldie's next base hit will put him alone in 2nd place on the Diamondbacks all-time hit list. Right now tied with Steve Finley for 2nd all-time with 847. Gonzo number 1. Fastball by him, and it's 2-2. Back to the fastball, missed upstairs. It's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs and Owings the runner at 2nd. Jake Lamb would be next. Sticking with the hard stuff. It's got to be tough when Matt Moore's firing fastballs and cutters at you like that time after time, but you know he's got that big, slow, loopy curveball in his back pocket.
Yeah, occasionally against a guy like Matt Moore, as a hitter, you either look away or look in. He's either going to cut that ball in on your hands, or he's going to try to cut it on the back door or throw the 4-seamer on the outside corner. A lot of hitters will look up or down against a certain opposing pitcher. Sometimes they look in or out. Goldie ends up taking a walk.
Goldie's aboard, 2 on and 2 outs. And here comes Jake Lamb. Jake doubled to left center his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Just the 2nd walk tonight issued by Matt Moore. He had retired 6 in a row before the Owings double. Chris is at 2nd, Paul Goldschmidt at 1st. Just missed there. It's 1-0. When you break down the numbers, a significant difference for Jake Lamb when he's ahead in the count than when he's behind or even. Now that's true for just about everybody. But for Jake, that difference in the count creates a big difference in the numbers, a bigger gap than most. And so this is working right in his favor. He's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. It seems to make, Bob, a much bigger difference for Jake at this stage of his progression as a big league hitter to be ahead in the count.
Yeah, especially for young players. Not that you ever assume a pitcher's going to throw any particular pitch in a particular count, but when you're ahead in the count, that's when you're a little more aggressive with your swing. You're really trying to drive the ball and do some damage. When you're behind in the count, that's when you have to be a little more defensive, be willing to protect, cover that outside corner, be willing to get jammed if a guy happens to run a fastball inside when you're behind in the count. But when you're ahead in the count, you should never get jammed. If anything, you should pull the ball to your pull field, foul.
Looked at a 2-0 fastball from Matt Moore, and it's 2-1.
Told this story many times in the past. Frank Robinson, my first manager in the big leagues, used to fine us if on a 2-0, 3-1 pitch, if you fouled a ball to your off field, for me, a right-handed hitter, if I fouled a ball to the right side, he'd fine us $50.
Runners on the move, and they're in there. Stolen base for Chris Owings and Paul Goldschmidt, who now joins the 100-100 club for Goldie. 100 career homers and 100 career stolen bases.
And we were talking about the Diamondbacks and the steal, and Torey Lovullo saying that he'll steal if the percentages, if the numbers are in their favor. And even with 2 outs in the inning, the Diamondbacks pull a double steal. And I think the more Torey Lovullo sees some of the Diamondbacks runners, he may be more willing to turn them loose.
The pitch was a strike. It's 2-2.
I mean, we know Goldie has great judgment on when he has a good jump, when he can steal a base against an opposing pitcher and catcher. Chris Owings with his speed, A.J. Pollock with his speed. I think the more Torey sees, the more we may see the running game.
A 2-out double by Owings. Back-to-back 3-2 counts for Matt Moore. He walked Goldie. Here's the 3-2 to Lamb. That is rolled fair, and it's off of Brandon Belt. Owings scores. Here comes Goldie, and it rolls all the way to the right field corner. 2 runs come in, and it's 4-3. It kicked off Brandon Belt and rolled well up that right field line.
Belt kind of got caught in between hops down there. Jake Lamb pulls that ball right down the first baseline. Belt looked like he was in pretty good shape right there, just couldn't come up with the backhanded play. That ball bounced right over the bag at first, and by the time Hunter Pence is able to run it down, the Diamondbacks have pulled within a run.
And now they have the tying run in scoring position with Lamb at second, and the batter will be Yasmani Tomas.
Left fielder,
Tomas came up second and third, 2 outs in the third, and struck out to end the threat. He has singled and struck out tonight, 1 for 2. They put a hit up on the board there. No error on the play. Here's Tomas. Boy, Matt Moore has really had to work hard since he got Pollock to ground out for the second out in this inning. Owings doubled. He walked Goldie on a 3-2 pitch. Jake Lamb just hit a 3-2 pitch right there, so the pitches are piling up. Bullpen still quiet for the Giants. Tomas ahead 2-0. Chris Owings got it started with that 2-out double. CO tonight has walked, singled, doubled. He's got an RBI. He scored a run and stolen a base. Lamb the tying run at second, 2 outs. Behind Tony Perez Chica at third, 2-1. Now they put an error up on the board for the Giants. So E3 has Lamb at second base. Tomas drives it to right. Pence won't get there. Jake Lamb scores. El Tanque, Yasmani Tomas, the RBI double, and we're all tied. He drove it the other way, and the Diamondbacks, all with 2 outs, have come back to make it 4-4 here in the 5th.
Tomas has seen a lot more pitches tonight. Finally gets a ball out over the plate and down and drives it into right field for an RBI double. Diamondbacks have done a nice job of working some counts in this inning, getting some hitters counts in their favor, getting some full counts.
Yasmani, who was 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts coming into the game, 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and an RBI. Here's Drury. Moore stays away from the fastball that time, and Drury swings through. It's 0-1. Bullpen will get busy for San Francisco. Neil Ramirez, the right-hander, starts warming up. Former Chicago Cub Ramirez. Oh, 0-2 on Brandon Drury. A roller over the mound, but panic is there behind the bag. But the Diamondbacks get 3 to tie the ball game. We are through 5. It's 4-4.
Back to tie it up at 4. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. Chris Davis of the Baltimore Orioles becomes the 4th player in Major League history with a home run in each of his first 4 games. Now, that's not what's amazing to me.
Yeah.
After 4 games, he had 16 RBI.
Chris Davis, big boy down there at first base for Buck Showalter's Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, the other 3, Willie Mays in 1971, Mark McGwire in 98, and Nelson Cruz in 2011.
And coincidentally, not ironically, Davis homered today for Baltimore as they beat Toronto 3-1 at Oriole Park. Eduardo Nunez leads off the inning as Taijuan Walker becomes the first D-back starter this year to start the 6th inning. And what is now a 4-4 ball game. Nunez singled, stole a base, scored a run in the 2nd, grounded out his last time up. Walker approaching 90 pitches. The bullpen stirring, but no one throwing as of yet for the Diamondbacks. See some stretching going on down there.
But for Taijuan Walker tonight, we've talked a lot about his fastball and how he's willing to use it, especially first pitch fastballs to challenge opposing hitters. He's only thrown first pitch fastball about half the time tonight, 12 out of 24 pitches, exactly half the time. His career average is 70%. He usually throws first pitch fastball 7 out of 10, but mixing it up a little bit tonight, knowing that the Giants know his history as well.
Yes, Jim Wolf calls the strike, and that's 6 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker. They appealed, nothing from DJ Rayburn down there. I believe Wolf was the one that called that.
There's that high fastball way above the top of the zone, but in the estimation of Jim Wolf, Nunez went too far.
So Taijuan now with 6 strikeouts, he's walked 1. Here's Jared Parker, who's 0 for 2. Shift is on, and there's ball 1. Parker to begin the season 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Jake Lamb, the only D-backs defender on the left-hand side. Brandon Drury very deep and on the outfield grass at second. And Nick Ahmed, the shortstop. There you see Nick in the middle there, playing short right. 1-2 on Parker.
Just a steady diet of fastballs.
Well, Parker's a guy who strikes out 30% of the time he's up there. And he punches out again, chased another high fastball at 94. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Taijuan, now 7 in the ballgame.
That's the eternal question for a pitcher, a catcher, and a pitching coach. When do you switch it up? He's just been overpowering Jarrett Parker tonight with that fastball up in the zone. But at some point, you might want to mix in something off speed out of the strike zone where he can't get a bat on it. They have a term for that when you throw an off-speed pitch to a guy that can't catch up to a fastball. Don't speed up his bat.
Uh-oh, Joe Panik gets a hold of one, drives it deep to right, but CO's got room on the track. And it's a 1-2-3 6th for Taijuan Walker, gets the shutdown inning and keeps it a 4-4 ball game.
Game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks home game. Well, that match game is a big seller here. The fans love it.
And it's high pressure, too. Boy, everybody in the ballpark is watching you do that, and they are on you. Chris Iannetta 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. Leads off the 6th inning against Matt Moore. Diamondbacks tied it up in the bottom of the 5th with 3 runs, all with 2 outs against Matt Moore, who threw 31 pitches in that 5th inning and is back out there to start the 6th with a quiet bullpen. Iannetta drives one to center. Hernandez broke back, now comes in, and it drops in front. It just kind of died on him. And Chris Iannetta has his first base hit as a Diamondback.
And it figures it comes against the San Francisco Giants. He has beat up on the Giants throughout his career, spent 6 years with the Rockies in the National League West, a .327 lifetime hitter in 60 games against the Giants.
Well, the Diamondbacks have the birthday boy, Jorge De La Rosa, warming up in the bullpen. De La Rosa, the former Rocky, turns 36 today. The pitcher spot, Taijuan Walker, is up next after Nick Ahmed. And Jeremy Hazelbaker is making his way into the on-deck circle. Ahmed skies one, center field for Gorkys Hernandez. On down in the 6th. And here comes Hazelbaker to hit for Walker. So that's it for Taijuan, who gave up 4 runs on 7 hits, walked 1, and struck out 7 in 6 innings.
Pitch hit for Taijuan Walker, number
You're going to go to a left-hand pinch hitter here against the lefty Matt Moore.
Well, he only has one right-handed bat on the bench tonight. Jeff Mathis, one of the backup catchers.
So it'll be Hazelbaker. There is Torey Lovullo with Jerry Narron, Reno Aces manager, who's also working as the bench coach, while Ron Gardenhire addresses his health situation. Gardy dealing with prostate cancer. Another reason why we'd like to see you sign up for the 5th annual D-backs race against cancer coming up this Sunday, 7:15 in the morning, right here at Chase Field. A 5K race that will begin and end at Chase Field. And all proceeds benefit the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation. You can sign up at dbacks.com/race. 7:15 in the morning this Sunday right here at the ballpark. One and one on Jeremy Hazelbaker, a rookie last year with the St. Louis Cardinals. Hit .235 at exactly 200 at bats with St. Louis last year in his first look at the big leagues. Chris Iannetta, the go-ahead run after a leadoff single here in the 6th. Hazelbaker drives it to the right field corner. Pence on the run. He won't get there. It's off the wall. Iannetta being waved home. Here's the throw, and he is safe. Jeremy Hazelbaker makes it 5-4 Diamondbacks.
Well, when you load your lineup with right-handed bats, you know that at some point in the game you may have to send a lefty up there against a left-handed pitcher, and Jeremy Hazelbaker justifies Torey Lovullo's faith in him right there, banging that ball down into the right field corner for an RBI.
Well, as Brandon Webb always likes to say, the never say Diamondbacks. That's a Webby original. And they've done it again. They've knocked Matt Moore out of the ball game. It's 5-4 D-backs. Third on the throw, and he makes it a 5-4. The D-backs lead. Fans, mark your calendars. The upcoming giveaways here at Chase Field. This Saturday, the Jake Lamb bobblehead giveaway. That's courtesy of our friends at Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. Then on April 22nd, pick up the car sunshade, courtesy of Safe Light Auto Glass. And you can send mom home with a D-backs clutch purse on Mother's Day. May 14th, courtesy of PetSmart. Get your tickets right now at dbacks.com.
The perfect gift for mom.
A clutch. Talk about clutch.
Yeah.
How about Jeremy Hazelbaker? Here's Corey Guerin, the right-hander. On to face A.J. Pollock. And a chance to tack on here. One out, Hazelbaker at third. A.J. doubled and scored in the third. He's 1 for 3. Infield creeps in for the Giants. Medium depth. Ball 1. 5 runs, BB.
Tacos. Never too early in the season to load up on tacos.
Corey Guerin pitched 1 inning in last night's ball game. Came on to start the 6th, gave up a single by Drury, and retired Owings, Mathis, and the pitcher Archie Bradley. Hazel Baker's double has made it 5-4 D-backs. After they trailed 3-0 and 4-1. Brandon Webb's never say Diamondbacks. I think Webby's really onto something there.
I thought it was kind of interesting when Corey Guerin came into the ball game. Tony Perez-Chica went over to Jeremy Hazelbaker, and you could see by his hand motions he was describing, watch the sinker. The guy throws a lot of sinkers. Some of them end up in the dirt, alerting that base runner at third base to be ready for a possible pass ball wild pitch. Yeah, you think of the advance meeting going over an opposing pitcher only applies to the hitters, but every coach on the staff wants to know everything about every player on the other team. So Tony Perez-Chica letting Jeremy Hazelbaker know we might see a wild pitch here.
Bobby Freeman getting them cranked up here at Chase.
We like to call him the Billy Preston of the National League West.
And for good reason.
Will it go round in circles?
2-2 to A.J. Pollock. A.J. base hit. Hazelbaker scores. It's 6-4 Diamondbacks. Pollock 2 for 4.
We talk about the Diamondbacks' offensive numbers against opposing starting pitchers. First time, second time, third time through the order. The first time facing a reliever, the Diamondbacks are 8 for 24.
Wow.
Boy, A.J. goes off the plate away that time and bangs that sinker into right field. See that Webby sinker? And I don't anticipate A.J. being on first base very long. We talked about Guerin last night. He's got some tells out there in his delivery.
A.J. stole his first base of the year against Corey Guerin last night after a walk to lead off the 7th. And he's on board again against Guerin. What a start to the season it's been for CO. Tonight he's walked, singled, doubled, stolen a base, scored a run, and knocked in a run. His first ever big league start in right field. In fact, Chris has now had a hit and an RBI in each of the first 3 games this season. And going back to last year, an RBI now in 6 consecutive games. There goes Pollock. He got a great jump. The throw from Posey is in time. They got him right on the mark.
Wow, that's pretty impressive for Buster Posey right there. A.J. Pollock got a good jump. We know he can run. Oh, put it right on the bag. All Joe Panik had to do was catch that ball, and A.J. was going to be out at second base. What a throw by Buster Posey.
Boy, he put it right on Pollock's foot. The second out of the inning, and a 1-1 count on Chris Owings. Base is now empty. But the Diamondbacks have come back with 3 in the 5th, now 2 in the 6th. Fastball's in there for a strike, and it's 2-2. Taijuan Walker is D-backs debut. Trying to get him the win. Taijuan tonight walked 1, struck out 7, went 6 innings. No, he didn't, says DJ Rayburn, and the count is full 3-2. Goldie would be next.
Nice job by CO laying off those pitches down at the bottom of the strike zone because of Guerin's low 3/4 arm angle. Everything's sinking, everything's moving down. You want to make him get the ball up.
couple of years ago when he had that bum shoulder, he chased that pitch every time.
Yep.
Lays off. A 2-out walk for Owings. He's on base for the 4th time tonight.
2 walks
I was
in one
just going
ball
to say,
game.
there's a headline right there.
Wow.
Chris Owings, a very aggressive hitter, walking twice in one game. A chance for Goldie now. He walked his last time up. Ramirez, who had been warming up earlier, the former Cub, back at it in the Giant bullpen. Three hits and a walk in this inning against Corey Guerin, and sure enough, there goes the runner. And he's in there, the stolen base, second tonight for Chris Owings. And another run in scoring position for the Diamondbacks.
Chris is such a solid fundamental player. I commented on his slide into second base on a double earlier in the ball game. So many times you see that base runner explode into the bag and end up flopping around on the dirt out there on the shortstop side of second base and tagged out when they should have been safe. But CO and Paul Goldschmidt, as fundamentally sound as they come with those slides into the bases, planting that lead foot right on the bag to stop their momentum.
Boy, Bob, you were talking about this earlier. That third time through the order, it's made a big difference. It's knocked Matt Moore out of the game. Now Guerin's on the ropes here. The 0-1 to Goldie. Diamondbacks made a little noise in the third against Matt Moore, but the first 2 times through the order he was fairly effective. But that third time, they knocked him around. You can see the defense here against Goldie. Brandon Belt all by himself on the right-hand side. Fastball away, missed. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, you rarely see anybody shift on Goldie because he hits the ball from foul line to foul line. Occasionally you will see the center fielder move over into the gap a little bit in right center field, but not many teams shift their infield with Goldie at the plate.
Lays off the fastball away again, and he's ahead 3-1 with Jake Lamb on deck. Same spot, same result. Well, Guerin has gone to 3 ball counts on the last 2 hitters and walked them both. Now 2 on, 2 out for Lamb. And here comes Bruce Bochy. He's got Ramirez warming up in the bullpen. And it looks like he's going to check in with Jim Wolf. We may have a double switch here. And indeed, Chris Marrero is jogging out to the outfield. So we'll sort it out when we come back. D-backs have a 6-4 lead, threatening more here with Lamb coming up.
Mini plan. Choose from any game this season, including this weekend's matchup against the Cleveland Indians. You can come watch the Boo Dodgers series April 21st through 23rd, or the Cubs series in August. Buy tickets now at dbacks.com.
Double switch from Bruce Bochy. Chris Marrero takes over in left field for Jared Parker. He'll bat ninth, pitcher spot now seventh in the Giants order. And on is the right-hander Neil Ramirez after Corey Guerin faced three batters, did not retire a single one, gave up two walks and a single. And here's Ramirez, who split last year between the Cubs and the Twins, had a good spring with the Giants. And here he is, 2 on and 2 out to face Jake Lamb.
18 games last year. He struck out 24 in 24 innings, but he also walked 18.
Yikes. Diamondbacks have come back, 3 in the 5th, 2 here in the 6th. The only out made behind Corey Guerin was when A.J. Pollock was thrown out trying to steal second. Jake Lamb has doubled, reached on an error, and scored a run. Chris Owings at second base, Goldie at first, 2 outs and 2 runs in. Diamondbacks trailed it 3-0 and 4-1, but they've come back to take a 6-4 lead. Jorge De La Rosa continues warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. He'll get the 7th. Marrero, Hernandez, and Belt due up 9-1 and 2 for the Giants. Tapped foul, and it's 1 and 2. Dodgers continue to lead the Padres in LA. It's 3-1. They're in the 5th inning. Trevor Cahill started that game for San Diego against Rich Hill. Rockies 6-1 losers in Milwaukee.
I called them the Boo Dodgers in that promo for the mini plan because that's what my son Michael used to call them when I played.
Michael, just a youngster then.
Just a little, yeah, just a little curtain climber, and he had heard it so much at Candlestick Park, he just thought their name was the Boo Dodgers.
I like it. I'm fine with that myself.
Yeah, sure. There's a nice ring to it.
We'll be at Dodger Stadium next week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Monday. That's a 4-gamer. The 1-2 to Lamb. Called strike 3. Diamondbacks strand 2 but get 2. They take a 6-4 lead. It all started with Jeremy Hazelbaker, a pinch hit, RBI double. Pollock followed with an RBI single. It's 6-4 D-backs.
And as Arizona dips into the bullpen, and I had a chance to sit down with pitching coach Mike Butcher to talk about this year's staff, especially with some new faces in the mix. He said they are still evaluating the talent, so there's no true defined roles quite yet, but he said they like the experience Jorge De La Rosa brings to this ball club in his third stint with Arizona. And the Southpaw celebrating his 36th birthday today. There was a lot of hype about that this afternoon in the clubhouse, so no doubt he's excited to get on the mound, channel some of that energy into game action.
Our Ash line call to the bullpen. Here is the former Colorado Rockies starter, now Diamondback reliever Jorge De La Rosa, to face Chris Marrero to lead off the seventh. And Marrero, first pitch swinging, pops it up. That's been one mark, Bob, with Jorge De La Rosa. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. His velocity has been up this spring.
It's really been surprising. I didn't expect to see those kind of numbers from Jorge De La Rosa. Must be feeling really good. His mechanics have been solid all spring long, and a couple of extra miles per hour on that fastball never hurt anything.
Now the Diamondbacks, this will be a big test for their bullpen. A 6-4 lead as we start the seventh. The right-hander J.J. Hoover is warming up right now for the Diamondbacks. Gorkys Hernandez, the leadoff man, 0 for 3. Here's J.J. Hoover, the right-hander, former Cincinnati Red. You've got Hernandez up. Belt, the lefty, on deck. After that, right-handers in Pence and Posey. Another mid-90s fastball from De La Rosa, but he's behind 2-0. Two balls and one strike. Torey Lovullo was very clear when Jorge De La Rosa was signed by the Diamondbacks right as spring training was opening up. No, he's not in the mix for a starter's job here. He will be used strictly as a relief pitcher. Something relatively new for De La Rosa. And he's come back to even the count now, 2-2. This is a ballpark in which he had always struggled. Coming into the season, 12 career appearances at Chase Field, all starts for Jorge De La Rosa. His record was 1-8 with a 5.05 ERA. When he gets the strikeout of Gorkys Hernandez, De La Rosa was behind in the count, 2-0, and threw 3 straight strikes.
Outstanding job of working yourself back into the count and getting Hernandez to chase a pitch in the dirt right there.
Now he'll deal with a dangerous Brandon Belt. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, will jog out to short right field. Jake Lamb toes on the grass midway between second and third. Belt has tripled, homered, and scored twice. It's 0-1. Back to the fastball at 95. Jorge De La Rosa won this job in spring training, a seeming battle with Brian Mattis, another veteran left-hander. Mattis, the former Oriole, but they went with De La Rosa, who just missed there, and it's 1-1.
It's a good place to miss right there. Cut that ball right off the outside corner, tried to get Belt to chase a pitch that ended up well off the plate.
Taijuan Walker, when he got those 3 runs in the 5th, had a 1-2-3 shutdown 6th. Can De La Rosa do the same in the 7th? Belt can't check, 95, and it's 1-2.
Boy, so much of this game is about momentum, and you mentioned that 6th inning for Taijuan Walker. 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to right field. Took 9 pitches after his team had tied the game up. Got him right back in the dugout again.
Torey Lovullo has talked all spring long about winning moments. There are moments in a ball game when you win a moment, it helps you win another moment, and that helps you win an inning, and that helps you win games. Jorge De La Rosa, happy birthday. A 1-2-3 shutdown 7th. Diamondbacks all smiles. They lead at 6-4. birthday, gets 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 seventh and keeps it a 6-4 D-backs lead. And as Yasmani Tomas leads off the home half, here's our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing. Cool play of the game. Yasmani, a second hit tonight. An RBI double in the 5th.
Good to see him driving that ball to the opposite field, right down into that right field corner.
Neil Ramirez back out there for the Giants. D-backs have out hit the Giants 9-7. They lead at 6-4. And Yasmani takes the first pitch, and he's ahead 1-0. He has singled, struck out, doubled, knocked in a run, 2 for 3.
Boy, it was really a tale of 2 ball games for Taijuan Walker tonight. First 3 innings, he gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, only registered 1 strikeout. Innings 4, 5, and 6, he gave up 1 hit, the Brandon Belt homer, and struck out 6 Giant hitters.
Retired the final 4 he faced Taijuan Walker. You talk about winning moments. That 1-2-3 6th inning after the Diamondbacks got 3 in the bottom of the 5th. That was one of the biggest for me in this game so far.
And it happened so quickly. Back-to-back strikeouts of Nunez and Parker, and then got a lazy fly ball to right field by Joe Panik.
1-2 on Tomas. Tony La Russa has talked about that for years here now, the importance of that shutdown inning when your team gets a pitcher some runs and a lead going out there the next half inning and shutting down the other team, changing the momentum and keeping it in your favor. Don't let them back in it once you take the lead. And De La Rosa was outstanding in his inning. Tomas kind of golfs at that when it kicks off the backstop and stays there, and Yasmani will reach. Posey did not get a friendly hop.
Now, sometimes that ball will hit the backstop and ricochet right back to you as a catcher. Other times it'll short hop that back wall and pop straight up in the air. Buster had to run all the way to the screen to get that one.
And they will run for Yasmani Tomas. The Herminator, Chris Herman, checks in.
Now batting, second baseman Brandon Drury.
So Herman runs for Tomas. Here's Brandon Drury, who is 0 for 3. Off the shin guard, and Herman moves up.
I'm not sure if Buster Posey was just fooled by the movement right there. He tried to frame that pitch on the inside corner, and as he tried to pull his glove back to the corner, the ball just clanked off the fingertips, went all the way to the backstop again.
A wild pitch and a pass ball on back-to-back pitches as Herman at second base, nobody out. And a 1-0 count on Drury. Fastball's a strike at 93, 1-1. Brandon, dating back to last season, has a 7-game hitting streak. Reaches out and dunks it into right center. Herman had to hold up. Now he's being waved home. He will score, and it's 7-4 Diamondbacks. Well, you got a strikeout, a wild pitch, and a pass ball, all helping to lead to a run.
Boy, and that was a wicked breaking ball from Ramirez that time on the outside part of the plate, but just a nice protect the dish swing that time, and produces an RBI.
Chris Iannetta singled and scored his last time up. Chris 1 for 3 tonight.
Good hack at that one. Top of the strike zone, middle of the plate, fastball fouled it straight back.
You know, Bob, we always talk about what an enormous difference it'll make for Yasmani Tomas to show some patience at the plate. And boy, have we ever seen that tonight. We talked about last night's game. 0 for 4 on 7 pitches. He saw only 7 pitches all night long. He saw 7 pitches in his first at bat tonight, and he had a base hit in the second. But last night, Yasmani 0 for 4 on 7 pitches. Tonight, 2 for 4. He saw 21 pitches.
Nice.
What a difference.
Well, I mean, he's developed enough of a reputation now around the league that most teams are not going to throw him good pitches to hit on the first delivery, knowing that he's probably going to chase it anyway. So every so often, if he can just go into patient mode, make them throw you a strike before you go to work against that opposing pitcher, a lot of times he's going to find himself 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. Good hitters counts.
Iannetta behind 1-2. Able to check his swing that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, on deck. You know, Chris is happy. It's been a good week for him. He's a North Carolina Tar Heel. Another broken bat.
Same way.
Second time tonight that Chris is. And the bat is split almost. You're right, exactly the same way. Right off the top of that barreled out top. It looks like the same thing, doesn't it?
Almost the same thing. Off the back of that cupped end of the bat. A little electrical tape will fix that. You could use that for another month.
You'd have to do that back in the day, right?
Yes, we did.
In the streets of Coshocton.
Yes, indeed. Over at the fairgrounds.
Oh, he dropped that breaking ball in there nicely. Third strikeout for Ramirez.
Ramirez, as we mentioned, his control will leave him from time to time, but he's thrown some wicked breaking balls in this game.
Nick Ahmed 0 for 3. Pitcher spot up next, and Daniel Descalso is in the on-deck circle. He laces it over the glove of Nunez. Drury was on the run with the pitch. He's being waved home, and he will score. 8-4 D-backs. Nick Ahmed roped one just over the head of Eduardo Nunez at third, and the D-backs have doubled up the Giants.
It looked like a hit and run. Chris Herman on the move. It eliminates any doubt in Nick Ahmed's mind whether he's going to swing or not. He rips that ball down into the left field corner. You see Tony Perez-Chica getting in position to windmill Chris Herman onto home plate.
First double this year for Ahmed. Drury scoring all the way from first, and Descalso hits for the pitcher. Diamondbacks down 3-0 and 4-1. A 3-run fifth, 2 runs in the 6th, now 2 more here in the 7th. Oh, and 2. No, we didn't, Tim Timmons. Diamondbacks now with 11 hits, 7 for the Giants. Descalso picked up by the Diamondbacks in early February. Had a very good season last year with the Colorado Rockies. A.J. Pollock would be next. Descalso hit 8 home runs last year, 4 of them against the D-backs. So if you can't beat him, make him join you.
Well, and he really filled a need, a left-handed bat off the bench, a guy that can play multiple positions, and a guy that's had experience in this role. Not an easy thing to do, to be a part-time player and a pinch hitter.
Still only 1 out. Tied him up, but he's able to check. No, he's not. A late appeal right there, and Tim Timmons says, yep, you went. 2 down. Boy, Jim Wolf waited a while there and finally checked with Timmons at third.
That's unusual, too. I mean, umpires usually, if there's that much of a delay between the pitch and the appeal, you rarely get the call. But Tim Timmons thought he saw Daniel Descalso get that bat out there a little bit too far and rings him up.
Now it's 2 down. Pollock with a chance to get Ahmed home from second. AJ has doubled, singled. He's scored a run. He's got an RBI. 2 for 4. There's a strike, 0-1. So AJ already with 6 hits to open the season, including a home run in the opener Sunday. Like, what a difference having him back. Holy Toledo. He's off to a, let's see, 6 for 13 start.
Making up for lost time.
You bet. Funny because he hit a $143 in spring training. Oh, what a jump. And now they got Ahmed hung up. Ramirez kept his cool, and they tag out Ahmed to end the inning. But the Diamondbacks add 2 more. They take an 8-4 lead. Combo shut down innings. Taijuan Walker handed a lead. A 1-2-3 6th inning with 2 strikeouts. They add to the lead. On comes the birthday boy, Jorge De La Rosa. A 1-2-3 7th inning with 2 strikeouts. That's a State Farm winning combo.
Boy, outstanding job by both of those guys. Taijuan Walker just got stronger as the game went on, and Jorge De La Rosa, very impressive tonight.
So a big test for the Diamondbacks bullpen tonight. So far, A+ for Jorge De La Rosa. Now our Ash line call to the bullpen gives us the right-hander, J.J. Hoover, who's got a tough 8th inning ahead of him with Pence, Posey, and Crawford due up 3, 4, and 5. New left fielder, Chris Herman, came on to run for Yasmani Tomas. He takes over in left. Pence has tripled, singled. He's got an RBI. He's scored a run, 2 for 3. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. D-backs feel like with Hoover, if the other team has a run of right-hand hitters, like the one here's facing right now, and they don't figure to pinch hit a left-hander for one of those right-handers, then Hoover might be the guy. And you're certainly not going to hit for Pence or Posey. Now, how they handle Crawford, who will bat third in this inning, remains to be seen, but right now there's no one warming up in the bullpen. Reaches out and rolls it to shortstop for Nick Ahmed. One down.
I'll tell you one group of guys that's really enjoying this ball game tonight. The Diamondbacks have a group of their scouting supervisors and cross-checkers in town for some meetings. They're here at the ballpark tonight watching the ball game with Tony La Russa.
There you can see Tony sort of in the middle toward the left there. Amiel Sade, Jared Porter. Posey drives one toward the right field corner, and it's leaking out of play.
It'll be interesting to see if with the new front office led by Mike Hazen, if there's any change in what they ask the scouts to look for. You know, we know coming from Boston, those guys placed a heavy emphasis on base percentage, taking your walks, clutch hitting. I mean, scouts basically are looking for good ball players, you know, and ideally they fit the mold of what you're looking for in your organization. Sometimes you think you can teach guys certain things, but it's sure nice if it's already in place.
And I'm going to imagine it's even nicer when there's a common theme or a common goal at every level handed out to all the people who are out there in the field and in the ballpark.
Yep.
You don't want any disconnect. You don't want different agendas, different lines of communication. Everybody on the same page as to what they want. Hoover behind on Posey now, 2-1. Buster singled in the third and walked in the fifth. He's 1 for 2. J.J. Hoover. Hoover, 5 big league seasons, all with Cincinnati, and had a very nice 3-year run as a key setup man in the Reds bullpen. Brandon Crawford on deck. Two years ago, Hoover had an outstanding season as the 8th inning man, getting the ball to Aroldis Chapman. Posey laces it into center, a 1-out single. Second hit tonight for Posey. Now here's Crawford, who's 0 for 2 with a sac fly RBI.
Brandon Crawford.
So Hoover will work to the left-hander. You've got the right-hand hitting Eduardo Nunez on deck. Bullpen still quiet. Sliced foul and out of play. Diamondbacks trailed this game 3-0 and 4-1, but they lead at 8-4. Now there's some action in the D-backs bullpen. Andrew Chafin has started warming up. We've talked about the Diamondbacks' luxury in carrying 3 catchers, and we've seen that come into play here tonight.
Yeah.
Chris Herman, you can have him run for Yasmani Tomas and then take over in left field. Well, Hoover missed with that one, and he's behind 2-1 on Brandon Crawford with the troublesome Nunez on deck. Missed upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. Base hit. Drury can't get there. 2 on and 1 out for Nunez. We've already seen some moments, Bob, where range at second base, a little bit of an issue for Brandon Drury.
Yeah, Brandon Drury, as you said, has played a lot of second base. He's a natural third baseman, but you know, he's more out of the mold of a Jeff Kent type, where you may take the defensive shortcomings because the guy swings such a good bat and does everything else so well, and perhaps with more playing time, getting to know the hitters a little better from that position. And with some help from his coaching staff, maybe move him a step or two one direction or the other depending on the hitter, and that might take away some of those balls that just barely get through.
Well, you don't want the big inning here. 2 on, 1 out. Nunez 1 for 3, a single in the second. Pitcher's spot up next, and Gillespie's in the on-deck circle. Posey at second, Crawford at first. And Chafin still warming up in the D-back bullpen. And suddenly J.J. Hoover having trouble throwing strikes. 14 pitches so far, half of them balls. Popped him up, foul ground. Iannetta has a look. It's behind the screen and out of play. Nunez has been a tough out in this series. He's got 6 hits so far. Not to mention 3 stolen bases. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, on the left. Torey Lovullo, the skipper, on the right. Chafin still warming up. 2 and 1. Fastball command not quite there for JJ tonight. Ty Block, the only lefty back there for the Giants, is warming up along with the right-hander George Contos. D-backs in the home half of this inning will have Pollock, Owings, and Goldie 1, 2, 3 in the order. The 2-1 to Eduardo Nunez. He slaps it by Goldie, a base hit. Posey had to hold up, and the bases are loaded. So the Giants, with 1 out in the 8th inning, get the tying run to the plate.
Tried to go away, and Nunez just guided the ball through the right side, putting Giants at every base. It's tough decision time for a manager right here. If you go to the bullpen to the left-hander, Andrew Chafin, to face Gillespie, you might see Aaron Hill or Nick Hundley come off the bench as a right-handed bat to face Chafin. So these are things that Torey Lovullo is weighing with his pitching coach, and they've made their decision.
Diamondbacks bullpen, and here's Andrew Chafin to get the biggest test of all so far. Bases loaded, 1 out, tying run at the plate. In the 8th inning, our ash line call to the bullpen. The numbers on Chafin last year. As soon as Gillespie was announced the left-hander as the pinch hitter, Torey Lovullo went to his left-hander, Andrew Chafin. But Bob, as you mentioned, Bruce Bochy then countered. He recalled Gillespie, and here's former Diamondback Aaron Hill, who'll bat with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah, we had that shot of Mike Butcher and Torey Lovullo over in the Diamondbacks dugout talking over the various situations. If we do this, Bochy's liable to do that. If he does that, what should we do? And ultimately they came up with a decision. They liked the matchup of Andrew Chafin against Aaron Hill a little bit better than J.J. Hoover against Connor Gillespie.
3 straight 1-out singles against J.J. Hoover have loaded the bases. And here's Aaron Hill, the former Diamondback, who had a productive spring. Beat out several veterans for a reserve infield job, guys like Gordon Beckham and Jimmy Rollins. The youngster Kelby Tomlinson as well, who still had some options. He was sent down to AAA, and Aaron Hill got the roster spot for opening day. And now here he is back at Chase Field. Bases full, 1 out. Oh, and 1.
Well,
Aaron?
We know Aaron Hill well from his time here in Arizona. As you see the bases loaded for the Giants, Posey, Crawford, and Nunez. Aaron Hill can pull a bullet. Be careful with that fastball.
Crawford and Nunez both run well at second and first. So watch out for anything in the gap. Nice block back there by Iannetta, and it's 1-1. Aaron last year with the Brewers and the Red Sox had a pretty good year, actually. Hit .262 with 10 home runs.
Yeah, and they liked him both places. I had a chance to talk to Craig Counsell. They really loved having Aaron Hill on that young Milwaukee Brewers team, and then he went to the Red Sox. I thought he was going to knock the Green Monster down.
Well, that ballpark seems like it was built for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Chafin ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. 94 from Andrew there. Aaron Hill with the bases loaded. He's been in this spot before, a .319 hitter. You like Chafin in this spot. If he can get by Hill, he's got the left-hand hitting Joe Panik on deck. Lays off the breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Aaron now 35 years old. He even this spring played a little bit in the outfield where he hadn't seen any time since he was a freshman at LSU. And he just flat out outperformed some of the other guys they brought in. Fastball missed up and away, and it's a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch in the ball game right here for Torey Lovullo's D-backs. He walked in a run. Let's take a look at this at bat, Bob, by the veteran Aaron Hill.
Well, we mentioned you have to be careful with the fastball against Aaron Hill. So Andrew Chafin using a lot of breaking pitches, trying to get him to chase. He missed out of the zone with his fastball and ultimately left that slider up and away for ball 4.
And now you've got a real battle here with Joe Panik. Base is still full. And Panik, the go-ahead run at the plate with 1 out. Fastball is a strike, 0-1. Oh, not a fastball, pardon me. Diamondbacks last year issued 12 bases loaded walks, the most in the National League. And trying to write a different story with the bullpen here in 2017. But Chafin in a jam. Bases full of Giants. Crawford at third. Nunez at second and Hill at first. The big right-hander Tom Wilhelmsen throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Popped up, foul ground, and out of play. Joe Panik coming off a 3-hit night last night. He doubled and tripled in the series. Tonight 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Two and two. This is a very difficult guy to strike out. One of the best contact hitters in the game, but hitless for his career against Chafin.
And Chafin looking for contact right now, but soft contact on the ground to one of his infielders. Turn that double play and get out of this jam.
Fastball missed. And it's another full count, 3-2. Panik rarely chases out of the zone. Got him! 2 down. You've got the right-hander Marrero coming up. Wilhelmsen ready in the bullpen.
Couple of big pitches in this at bat after going to 3-2. He throws a front door slider that, in the estimation of Jim Wolf, catches enough of that inside corner for a called strike 3.
Well, the third Diamondback reliever in this inning is on the way. The bartender, Tom Wilhelmsen, will serve him up when we come back. In this 8th inning, and on to try and get it is the bartender Tom Wilhelmsen. Our ash line called the bullpen. Wilhelmsen, the Tucson native, pitched in the ball game last night. He worked a 1-2-3 ninth with 2 strikeouts. He got Hernandez, Belton, Pence, and now he'll face the right-hand hitting Chris Marrero with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Marrero won a job on this Giants roster on opening day with 8 home runs in spring training, if you count some of the exhibition games. 8 homers, so he forced his way onto the roster. And he'll bat with the bases full and 2 down. Bounces away from Iannetta. Crawford coming in. He will score. That's a big run right there. 8-6, and now a single can tie it.
First pitch breaking ball just pulls it out there off the outside corner. Iannetta got it on the chest protector, but you can see his upper body was turned ever so slightly, and that ball kicks over toward the first base dugout far enough for Brandon Crawford to come on home.
Tying runs in scoring position. And Marrero ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Nunez is at third. Aaron Hill, the tying run at second. In the air. Shallow left center. Pollock drifting over. And that's the inning. They walk a high wire, but they hold the lead. It's 8-6.
Diamondbacks Live presented by CenturyLink, our post-game show. And Brandon, the D-backs were down 4-1 at one point. They chipped away, tied the game in the 5th. They've come back. Bullpen had a little trouble there, but with a 2-run lead now going into this inning.
Yeah, it's been a nice total team effort out of the D-backs today. Losing the lead, tying it up, getting the lead again, and the pitchers have done a great job of keeping it where it's at. So we'll see if they can hold on and get the win.
Plenty to break down on our post-game show, including Taijuan Walker's debut as a Diamondback. He went 6 innings. It's all coming your way on the post-game show, guys.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll look forward to that. Tom Wilhelmsen, wild pitched homer run, but got the fly ball that ended the top of the 8th inning. Now on to start the bottom of the 8th. It's the right-hander George Contos, who had a good year last year for the Giants, 3-2, a 2.53 ERA. Contos got 3 outs in the 7th inning in last night's ball game. He'll face A.J. Pollock to lead off the 8th. Aaron Hill remains in the game, and he takes over in left field. We mentioned that Aaron had played some left field during the spring for Bruce Bochy. Two 2-0 to AJ, who's had a good night. Doubled and scored in the 3rd. And an RBI single in the 6th. Two and 1. Dodgers still lead the Padres 3-1. And they're in the 8th inning in Los Angeles.
Oh, by the way, Will Myers with 2 knocks.
Ooh, that hurts.
That really hurts.
Beat the streak. Rockies were beaten in Milwaukee. Brewers 6-1 winners at Miller Park. After Colorado had won the first 2 games of that series. 1-2 on AJ. No, he didn't, DJ Rayburn. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Diamondbacks trying to change their luck against the Giants in this ballpark as Fernando Rodney gets those arrows loose. The closer. See if they can pad that 2-run lead. AJ laces it toward the left field corner. That's a fair ball. It's off the bullpen wall out there. Aaron Hill picks it up, and AJ Pollock has his second double tonight, his 3rd hit.
Nice job of extending his swing right there. Got fooled ever so slightly by that breaking ball, but was able to reach out there, especially with the left hand, and hook that ball down in the left field corner.
Boy, AJ Pollock, who hit 143 this spring, already with 7 hits to start the season. 7 for 14 so far in 2017. Chris Owings has had a big night, batting second and playing right field. CO has walked twice. He's singled, he's doubled, he's got an RBI, he's scored a run, and he's stolen a base.
You think he might try to bunt for a base hit right here?
Nunez almost even with a bag at 3rd.
I mean, with Chris Owings' speed, he could either push the ball toward Brandon Belt on the right side and try to leg it out for an infield hit. At worst, you move AJ Pollock up to 3rd base if you get the bunt down on the ground.
See where Panic is at second if he can get it by the mound. Off the fist. Aaron Hill got a late break, but he's there. And that's the first out in the 8th. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. One more game against the Giants coming up here tomorrow night. And Robbie Ray is on the mound against the Shark, Jeff Samardzija. And then after tomorrow night, which by the way will be a throwback Thursday, so come on out to the ballpark tomorrow, dbacks.com/tickets. We'll have the throwback purple unis on. After tomorrow, the Cleveland Indians are here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Jake Lamb bobblehead day here Saturday, dbacks.com/tickets. Goldie has struck out twice and walked twice, 0 for 2. Don't forget to wear your purple shirt tomorrow.
Oh, it's ready.
Got some new ones this year.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Fernando Rodney still warming up in the bullpen. He'll get the 9th. The top of the order is due up for the Giants. Gorkys Hernandez, Brandon Belt, and Hunter Pence. D-backs have out-hit San Francisco 12-10. Panic sneaking in at second base. Now he backs off. Late time granted by Jim Wolf back there. Panic ran all the way in. He was standing on the bag at one point. And Goldie clearly saw that. Stepped out, called time. There's the throwbacks.
A lot of Gonzo fans in the house.
There's Gonzo fans everywhere. Crawford at shortstop, spins and throws. 2 outs, AJ at 3rd. We may have more Jacob Gonzalez fans pretty soon. Jacob hit a couple of more home runs yesterday. Jake Lamb. Jake a double in the 3rd. He's 1 for 4. Coming up to a little salt and pepper.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go again.
Yeah. I'm a little partial to Tom Wilhelmsen's coming on from the bullpen music, little Arctic Monkeys.
That's right in your wheelhouse.
Are you mine?
We don't have some Arctic Monkeys. We've got some lambs here.
Yeah.
Doc Rosenblatt's on that one. Trying to get A.J. home from third with 2 outs. Get Fernando Rodney one more insurance run.
Yeah, with Eduardo Nunez cheating over in the hole between third and short, A.J. Pollock had a very sizable lead over there at third base. I don't think he would attempt to steal home plate, but you can see how far off the bag Nunez is, and if you're the runner at third base, you can get off as far as the defender is off the bag.
Makes a big difference if Canto spikes one. Broken bat roller, tough play for Crawford. They got him. Brandon Crawford just saved a run. So we head to the 9th inning. Get your bow and arrow ready. Fernando Rodney coming in. It's 8-6 Diamondbacks. On. It's 8-6 D-backs, 9th inning. And here he is, Fernando Rodney.
Rodney, the winner on opening day. Wasn't a particularly effective outing for Fernando Rodney. And in that 9th inning, gave up a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and a run. But the Diamondbacks came back to win it in the bottom half of the 9th inning. An opportunity to slam the door here on his first save as a member of the Diamondbacks.
Got to tell you, it's a pretty impressive show that the ballpark puts on when Rodney comes in the game. We got flashing disco lights, house music, the whole thing. So here we go with Rodney against the top of the Giant order. Yeah, feel it.
It's an event, you know. You think about all the great closers in the history of the game all had their music, and well, this guy's loving it. Yeah.
I think he was dapping there. Is it dapping?
Yeah, I think that's what they call it.
I lose track of that.
Dabbing,
stuff.
yeah.
Dabbing, there you go.
One of those.
Gorkys Hernandez leads off the Giant 9th, 8-6 Diamondbacks. They can earn no worse than the split of this 4-game series against the Giants to open up the year if they can close this out. And there's strike one. That's why this is such a big win, Bob. You know that worst case scenario, the Giants leave here 2-2 and you hang with them. For a team that plays 24 of its first 27 against the NL West as the bat goes flying back to that screen. The Diamondbacks, one of the very first teams in baseball to extend that background, that screen behind the plate to both dugouts. And that bat may have ended up in the seats had they not done that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
24 of your first 27 against the NL West. The other 3, by the way, against Cleveland this weekend. So thanks a lot, schedule, folks. So if you can, 3 games in, take a 2-1 series lead with 1 to go against the Giants, you're in pretty good shape to start the year. Didn't hit him, but came close.
I don't know how it missed him, but fortunately it did.
Center field, AJ broke back, now comes in. 1 away. Our Gila River game summary: Diamondbacks trailed this one 3-0 and 4-1, but as Brandon Webb says, the Never Say Diamondbacks came back with 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th, all in support of Taijuan Walker, who after a little bit of a bumpy 3rd inning looked very good. Walked 1, struck out 7, went 6 innings.
Well, of course, it's very early to determine any kind of trends or anything like that, but the Diamondbacks have done a nice job of scoring in the middle and later part of the ball game. So far this season, in innings 1 through 3, they've scored 1 run, and that was tonight. In innings 4, 5, and 6, they've scored 12 runs, 5 tonight. And in innings 7, 8, and 9, they've scored 5 runs.
Fernando Rodney once again throws strike 1. Brandon Belt steps in. The shift is on, and it's 0-2. Rodney, as Bob mentioned, wound up as the winning pitcher on opening day Sunday. He faced Belt in the 9th inning in that game and walked him. He also in that ball game walked Hunter Pence, who's on deck. Brandon Drury near the second base bag, but back on the outfield grass. Ahmed, the shortstop, midway between Drury and Goldie. Back there in short right. Jake Lamb all by himself near the second base bag on the left-hand side. They give Belt the entire left field line. And he can't check. Rodney strikes him out at 96. 2 down.
Saw a lot of high fastballs early from Taijuan Walker, and Fernando Rodney says that looks like it works pretty good. I'm going to try it here on Brandon Belt, and Belt just cannot check his swing.
Well, 1 arrow away for Rodney. And it's a tough cookie in Hunter Pence. Pence tripled in the 1st, an RBI single in the 3rd. He's 2 for 4. The closer, Fernando Rodney. 40 years old, he said after he signed this winter. He'd already put in an order for 45 invisible arrows. So he anticipates at least 45 saves, and he's trying to get number 1 here tonight. He's an out away.
I hope he doesn't shoot him this direction.
Yeah, that's a good point. His trademark arrow to the sky motion he makes after every save. He's a strike away. Oh, that changeup sometimes is just absolutely filthy. They're on their feet at Chase Field. The Fernando Rodney show's in town. 1-2 on Pence.
95.
Important to get Pence here. If he reaches, Posey would be at the plate as the tying run. Chris Herman, Diamondbacks win it, and there's arrow number 1 to the sky and through the roof at Chase Field. Rodney closes out an 8-6 D-backs win.
Boy, you gotta love what you've seen from the Diamondbacks in the early going this year. They just refuse to be discouraged by being behind in a ball game. Bullpen had some issues tonight, but managed to pitch through most of the damage. Just as Brandon Webb said earlier, just a good overall performance by the entire team tonight.
The Giants had a 3-0 lead. They also led at 1.41, but the Diamondbacks come back 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. The bullpen closes out an 8-6 win. Walker wins it. Rodney gets the save. It's time for D-Backs Live postgame, and Webby is standing by with Jody Jackson. Jody.